I understand freedom of speech, and I also feel like that should come with the freedom to get clarted. Yeah.
I feel you beefed them quite a bit, did you?
Yeah. And here we have Fred, royal correspondent.
They never suffered in their life. This is why Blueface and Krishan is everywhere.
Oh my! The man said, "I'm Doctor Strange. I'm good."
What you saying, mate? You having me on, mate? The Five of Cups in reverse. We're going to talk about the roots of white supremacy, and everybody turns up.
Hey, shoe fits, it's yours. It's your own shoe. Like I lie. Yeah, but I'm honest about it.
What's your thoughts on free speech though? Because I feel like you exercise the shit out of that.
Yeah, I feel like I understand freedom of speech, and I also feel like that should come with the freedom to get clarted. Like, I think
100.
that the problem is that people want freedom of speech, but they don't want to understand that that's still going to have consequences.
Yeah.
If you feel like you can say what you want, but
Yeah.
people are going to have a reaction to what you've said, and they're going to want to respond. And I think that when you look at some of the celebrities at the moment, that, oh my God, cancel culture, and you're stopping my freedom of speech. They keep speaking. So clearly it's not working. Like, you're still talking.
The thing with it is freedom of speech is met with cancelling when that's not an opposing opinion. It's just you're cancelled. Yeah. If you respond with an opinion, cool. If you're responding with like, we don't want to hear from you no more, fuck off. I'll keep talking.
Yeah, but the thing is, nobody has been name one person. One person who's been cancelled.
Yeah, from what they've said. Like,
from what they said, like, they're gone.
What does cancelled mean?
Exactly.
Because Wiley was taken off of platforms.
But Wiley's back.
He's back off. And you know how he's back, innit? It's not I'm Wiley. It's Igloo 23.
What do you mean?
Man baiting up his dummy account.
That's it. Now they know.
Now they know.
They said, we knew he was here.
Got it.
We knew it. But Wiley's still able to function, though.
Of course, but cancel doesn't mean you're dead. Dead means dead.
But we're talking about
cancel kind of things.
But you haven't been, because he's still working, he's still doing things.
But it's reduced. No, he's still doing his thing. Like, some people don't need social media to operate, and that's what people are thinking is like, cancel from social media. First of all, you didn't own the platform to cancel the man from the platform. People still go maneuver how they go maneuver. So there's no such thing. But the issue is, someone's wrong opinion is met with cancel rather than someone else's opinion. It's like no one's making sense. Arguments are horrible on social media because it's just like, bruv, no one's actually saying anything apart from a few fancy words. It's like, bruv.
But I think that, again, with that, it's like, it's when they're using that, because sometimes people aren't being cancelled. Somebody's just saying to them, what you said was incorrect. And because of the amount of power maybe that person holds, they'll go, oh, how dare you, like, how dare you oppose what I've said? And then they'll call that cancelling, when really nobody's actually said take their platform away at this point. They've just literally said what you said is wrong. And it's like, oh, I'm being lynched. And it's all of those words. And it's like, we haven't even reached there.
Sometimes when I look at like the quote tweets, like the first couple will be like, why are people so mad at this? I'll be scrolling. They'll be hell of agreeing. It's probably like 2% of people were mad, and I'm like, why is negativity always the one that's brought to the forefront of everything? Like, bruv, there's hella people that agree with shit, but like, it's even in the entertainment, people just focus on the negative comments. It's that one that gives you a headache rather than the love of anything that makes you.
We're designed.
Thank you.
I think it's just the way we're designed, or the way society has just led with things, and then we kind of follow that, because every single thing that is out in the mainstream has taught you that the main things to focus on is negative. Do you get what I'm saying? The news is negative. That's been around since yonkers. So we just have always thought, okay, when there's something big going on to pay attention to, it's something negative. I think we're just naturally drawn to it. Because of how things are.
I think maybe an aspect of it as well is fight or flight. Like, if something is negative, you perceive it as danger. In order for us to evolve as humans, or whatever whichever theory you believe in, you need to be able to perceive danger and react to the danger that you're told, right?
You go defensive mode.
Right. So when you see that, you'll focus on that. It's like, maybe this person means me harm, when really all they said is it didn't slap. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but all of that gets triggered. So you need to, especially if you're someone that's on social media quite a bit, you need to be able to self-regulate when you see something and be like, what is the reality? Like, what am I reading and what is the reality? Not how I feel about it. What is the reality in this? Because a lot of times, maybe there isn't any like actual danger. You're just, you know, triggered by it. And also, like you said, when it comes to news cycles work not to inform, but to fearmonger. Because if you were just going to inform, you'd inform in a very balanced way, but constantly we've been given news that's actually meant to keep us in a perpetual state of fear. And then that keeps all our cortisol levels high. We're constantly vigilant, all of that. And then they're like, oh, have this new iPhone.
Yeah.
You know, like just throwing you something else. And I think that's what's interesting about it, that we're, like you say, we're just trained to focus on the negativity, but for various reasons.
I can't do the news no more. Like, I think during COVID, I gave up on the news. Not to say I watched the news like that, but when it was COVID, I was like, you can't be telling me this amount of people are dying every day. And I'm going to be all right. No way.
That count every day was mad.
Crazy. As if it wasn't even life. It was just numbers.
I still don't believe in war reporters.
What do you mean? Like, you don't believe that?
You know the people that go out to war torns and they're just right next to the bomb?
Yeah.
Like, bro, you know,
it's a mad joke.
just went off there and you're still reporting.
I'm reporting live from this.
It's a green screen, bro.
It's a green screen. I believe this shit. Niggas told his mum, listen, I'm going over there to report. Mum, I'll be back in 2 days.
The biggest scam, the biggest scam that I saw was the one with Harry when he's talking to the news reporter.
Man just starts cutting. I'm like, no way, man.
Get the fuck out of here, Harry. And shit popping off and them calling you in the middle of a news report.
Man, DY. What?
Taking off the mic. If you was really bad, you would have ran. You know the whole
mic,
the
bro.
team would have yanked out.
Yeah.
What? That was the biggest.
That had awareness.
That's when he went to Kelechi. Remember Tackle 25 with them there and then. That's when he got them bodies.
That is cap.
Oh,
I need to check out that book though. I need the audio book.
I feel like I need to.
Yeah.
I swear you beefed them quite a bit, to be fair.
Yeah, no, the monarchy generally, not them two, but the monarchy generally. And so I was hoping that in the book there would be things that would really help me do guascos with the monarchy as a whole. But he wasn't providing enough. And then he's saying things like, oh, I have enough to release a second book. What?
He said when the next mixtape drops, y'all in trouble.
Man said Dream Chasers 2. Yeah. The fuck?
He said, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all finished? What?
That is funny.
I was like, so you didn't tell us in this 400 pages, we now need to come back for the next 400. You're very mad.
That's what I hate about some series sometimes. You wasted a whole series just to build up the next one. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. But,
You need another season.
So where did the book commence? Like, where did he start with this book?
When?
No, where does the story begin?
From childhood. And he's just
So
like,
you've read it, yeah?
Bits,
Right,
but
right.
and he's basically like, it's hard to know that you were just born to basically be a spare. Like if your brother ever needed, the brother that's going to be king ever needed a kidney, ever needed anything, you are basically there to provide that. You are the spare if anything happened to
that's
him.
bitch nigga shit, man. Bitch nigga shit.
What's bitch nigga?
He said, what's bitch nigga?
Bitch nigga.
Give me bitch nigga.
Bitch nigga. What's bitch nigga? Nah, you are the bitch nigga.
He's crying wolf.
That's literally what he's there for.
I hear that, but
He's
man,
crying wolf.
That's why.
What?
That's what he's trying to do. That's why he's written the book.
Spare. I never knew that's why it was called
Yeah,
Spare.
because he's the spare part.
Man.
And that's why even sometimes, like, you don't travel in the same aircraft, you don't travel in the same vehicle.
they're not allowed to.
So the football teams don't do that either.
Why?
Yeah.
Because of Munich.
Yeah, there was a crash.
Yeah.
That was years ago, innit?
Teams travel
So,
separately.
I'm sorry to be it's very weird. I've got a very dark mind.
Go for it.
Would the game still go ahead?
Which game?
If it crashed.
Because you split them to protect them, right?
Yeah.
As long as you got 11
So
players,
if
basically.
you've got 11, would
They'll
you be
send out more. I don't think the game...
Would you carry on with the game?
Nah,
Because what's the
they
point?
probably
There was
wouldn't.
a
you wouldn't.
Brazilian team that I think half the team... No, maybe the whole team went down. It happened again after the
Yeah, I
Munich
remember
one to,
that,
I
actually.
think, a Brazilian team. I'm not sure if the game went ahead, but I doubt it would go ahead straight.
I doubt
away.
it.
Okay,
Would be-
okay.
Yeah,
That's what I was
it's
wondering because I was
lost
just like, yeah.
7 players.
Yeah, at
man.
some point it's like, bro, like we
It's
can play
not that deep. Like, it's not that deep.
bro.
Yeah.
Tell the crowd, bro. Just tell them like, we'll
Go
go
home.
like,
But you know some fans are like, we want the match. Like, what?
on,
I
bro.
don't care if they died.
I'll play.
When I was 15, I was playing. Come rain, wind, so I was playing. Not crashes though. So
Yeah,
calm
bro.
down,
Yeah,
calm
like so
down.
with being a spare, there's a point in your life where okay, you're trained to be your brother's spare, kidney, liver, boom, boom, boom. That you say, okay, this is what I am, but I'm still gonna live my life.
Which is what he tried to do, but then
Nah,
he was.
go on.
Then that's when he was like doing all the drug taking and doing this, doing that. Like he was. I feel like that was
He's
his
trying
way
to
of
ruin
rebelling.
himself so he couldn't use his parts. That's it. You don't want this liver.
You ain't gonna want it.
This black,
I've been drinking for days.
cigarettes for months. You don't want that.
My liver's swimming. You don't need this. Trust me. You die quicker with this liver. Trust me. Trust me.
So yeah, I think he's tried to rebel, but maybe this is the final sort of rebellion.
No, that is very soft.
What's
But it's hard on him within
What's
the royal
soft about
family.
it?
Like, that's quitting.
What?
What?
He quit
Accepting-
being a
accepting
Sound
the
spare.
like he
spare.
just gave up on life. Like that's
He
just
he
soft to
almost
me, like,
did. I think that's what he was
'cause-
saying in the book.
That's not
What, him?
problems.
I know
Man
that they
is-
said Megan almost did.
Yeah, no, but I mean in the sense that he almost just gave into like, all right, well,
This is
whatever,
my
then
life
yeah,
sort of
whatever,
thing.
and then
Oh,
at
right,
some
right,
point he
right,
was just
right.
like, no, actually, I'm gonna
Fuck that,
say
I'm gonna
something.
stand
Yeah,
up.
I'm gonna stand up
There's
for myself
zero
now.
suffering in his life, and I know this for a fact. You know, like that. You know, like that. I know this for a fact. This guy didn't suffer in any
And
shape,
here we have
form, or
Fred,
fashion.
royal
I'm
correspondent.
I'm telling you, outside of Buckingham Palace with my mic, these niggas ain't never suffered in their life. What? Suffering in there? Oh my lord, man.
When I've
why-
been watching it, I'm just like, there's nothing sad about this.
Nah.
Like, it's bad things are happening. I'm not gonna. Again, of course, there will be like suffering is subjective, blah blah blah. I hear that he's gone through some sort of hardship, turmoil. His mum was murdered at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
she
so
really was.
there is.
Nah, let's
mad-
not scrub forward that fast. What
do you mean scrub forward?
That's too much scrub. Now we're including the trauma that we accept. Like we haven't dealt with
Wait,
the one
so
that
you're saying he's been soft since he was young, basically?
Yeah.
since before his mum died, he's been on this I'm a spare thing.
But that's what they told him, and so his mum was there to protect him from that.
That's
like, I'm still
cool.
gonna let you have a life. Let's go and have fun. While
I didn't know they
do
told
what
him that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
while
thought he
you-
feels like
No.
that.
They
Oh,
it was
right.
made clear.
Oh, that's
Oh,
crazy.
that's mad.
That's mad.
He's the heir. You're the spare.
What they've said is your brother's gonna be king.
Yeah.
So are you sad or happy about that? That's like decision you should be happy for your brother's gonna be king. Nah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now what?
No, because you
Why
see how
not?
miserable your father is. Who's gonna be king first? Because that's what he was like saying on the
The
Oprah.
father was miserable not because of being king, but because he had to be with Diana.
God.
That's why he moved on to Camilla.
Straight, say it,
Well,
say
he
it.
kept her. Well, he didn't move on. She was there the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not because he
yeah.
was doing fake love. He wasn't
Yeah,
happy.
but then
Yeah.
he couldn't do the love wanting thing that he really wanted to do with his heart because of the firm. And they were
Yeah.
like, no, you can't be with a woman that's married or all that. You have to go with this, young thing. That's what you've got to do. So yeah, but it wasn't just having to be with Diana. It's that they were telling him what to do.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, my parents told me what to do as well in the house. Everyone, what do these people want to do? Just
Because I was told, don't bring no Jamaican home.
where does everyone want to go? That they're telling me I can't go out today, man. Yeah, you can't read I'm not understand. Like this is what I'm saying. They
Cultures
didn't have-
everywhere.
What's
Yeah.
hard about what they're doing?
But theirs is the firm. Theirs is an actual, like a boss coming to tell you. Not
Yeah.
even like your parents
oh,
telling
you have to go to Africa so they can carry you around on the.
Yeah, and carry you around.
It's nah. What they're doing is mad. I'm not gonna say it's not mad. I'm not gonna say it's sad though.
It's not sad.
Because
Yeah.
because
I
of
think
the
it's sad.
origins of it and where it comes from.
Yeah.
And we can't opt out of it.
No.
We can't just be like, actually, we don't support them. Like, if we're paying tax, we're paying them.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the only thing where I'm like, there's nothing sad about this. I can't just be like, oh, let me stop paying them or let me just stop paying attention. Even if I want to stop paying attention to them, they're there. They
That's why I
operate.
said that they need to be abolished.
100%.
Yeah.
If they
1000%.
said before all of this racism debacle because of the marriage that I don't feel like doing my duties, they'd still collect tax money. They've
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
the extra
100%.
bit they said is that renounce my title.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're still collecting a little tax spread somewhere.
No, they had to go. That's why they've done all the Netflix stuff. Like they've been cut off.
Yeah,
They've been
they're
cut
making
off.
their own
We
money.
haven't seen the books.
What books?
The books, the accountant books.
No, but look
Nah,
at
I think
they're
they-
very vicious. They cut them off because I think they could have tolerated all the things that he's doing, but it's the fact that you went to go and get with someone that has a black mother. No, no more money for you.
Yeah,
No more money for
they're
you.
out. The treatment of him, like cutting the
when they cut-
security.
yeah, cutting the
I was
security,
like,
that's in that, yeah.
So what?
They
Are
cut
they
the
not on the
security.
royal website no more?
I've never been to
No,
a
I
royal
don't think-
westside.
Is there a royal website?
I don't know. You know something that would just say, look, who's the
Man said, meet the team.
So that's how Buckingham Palace.
The black and white picture there, like.
Harry just like, oh, man, there's a royal website. Meet the team, man.
They-
Our contacts, all of that is
They
there.
really like, and I said it at the live shows. I was like, we really watched them. Really, what's the word when? Oh my god. When you obviously say someone's not a part of your family no more, what's the word?
Disown
again?
them.
Right? Yeah, we
Yeah.
really saw them disown him and just be like, "You ain't shit to us."
Yeah.
Like live-o. Like I've heard of these things in
Yeah,
the African
yeah.
community,
Yeah.
but it's been very. It hasn't been that deep. Like they literally endangered him. They said
That's
"You're-"
where I was like,
And
whoa,
I'm
like we're taking
even-
the security away.
Yeah.
Go and suffer.
That's
even
a
if
bit
you're a
mad.
fan
Yeah.
of like the royal family, just on a human level, what they did is mad.
Yeah.
Like what they did is very, very mad. Like just letting them be out there. Like fuck it, we'll just let them roast you. Fuck it, we'll listen to the firm. Fuck my son.
Yeah.
Fuck my brother. Don't give a fuck about him.
Yeah.
I was like,
This
whoa.
is my thing is this is a horrible monarchy in the sense that they have no power. Because I started looking at the king since 1066 and all of that. Like, I
Yeah.
just looked at the lineage. the names were brazy. They had crazy names. It was wild. But then it became Alfreds and Georges. I was like, okay, we're in a specific period.
Yeah.
But then as you go, you see where Parliament comes in, and then it just gave all the power to Parliament, then gave it back a bit, then Parliament took it, and it's like, so what? Then I was like, okay, so what can these people actually do?
Yeah.
And it's nothing, absolutely nothing.
That's what they. I feel like that's
Can't
where
do a
that's
goddamn
what they've
thing.
done really, really well. The greatest lie that the monarchy ever told is that they have no power, because the thing is, even though it looks like it's just formality, Elizabeth was able to block a lot of legislation coming in that if it was going to impact her and her finances, she was the biggest landowner that we know in this country.
yeah.
So she, in terms of wealth and knowing how wealth, means that you have power, she was good, and she could operate from behind the scenes. And so the whole point, like you said, when they brought in Parliament, the judiciary, all of that was so we have the separation of powers. So therefore we can have no corruption because nobody has the absolute power. However, you can move between everybody because you're the head of the Church of England. Then you have to sign off on what Parliament's doing. So in a way, you're still involved in
Could
anybody.
she
there,
ever
yeah.
walk into Parliament and say, what?
What?
Hey.
What? Reduce tax. You couldn't do that.
But she
She
can make
wouldn't.
it so that she can move all of her stuff to tax havens, and you can't put any policies in place that would
Yeah.
chase where she's put her money. So her thing, that's what I'm saying. Hers was really insidious in how she went about things.
She can maneuver.
Yeah, she can maneuver in that way. So it wouldn't be overt power, but you're still chopping in a way that nobody else has chopped.
Yeah.
Even those who I've chopped before, they've never chopped like
the
this.
queen, bro.
Yo, guys, I know you're enjoying the content, but I had to stop it. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and most importantly, subscribe, bruv. Fam, we're trying to hit 100K this year, and we can't do it without you guys. So listen, take a second and hit that subscribe button. Thank you.
I was watching something. It was a guy called Professor Lumumba, and he was talking about. I'm gonna watch more of his stuff because
Yeah.
he's talking a lot about like Africa and how we should maybe not reinvent ourselves, but we need a new type of African mentality, basically. And he was saying that a lot of times with corruption, people speak out towards it, but the reason why they speak out towards it is because they're not in a position to be corrupt.
Yeah.
If they were in that position, they would be corrupt as well.
Yeah.
So when we speak out towards the Queen, it's like they're just doing what they would do.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you actually have think about when you shoot, I've seen people change when they got a 5K salary increase.
Yeah.
No, but there needs to be a point
What?
where you've chopped, and it's like, like when you've chopped, you might.
You're full.
You're like,
You're full, but
Yeah.
like you're coming out of the shop, or you're even going into Tesco's. You see a homeless don. you buy him a sandwich and give him £5.
Yeah, because you're up like that. You're like,
It's
enjoy
not
it.
guilt, it's just
Yeah,
that
like, enjoy
I
it because
feel good.
I'm enjoying too.
And so where was there ever a point where Elizabeth said,
You know what they'll
country
say?
back.
They'll say, you know, we'll go and visit the Commonwealth.
But that's why they said
That's what they do.
he said that Charles said that he's going to give 250 million out, isn't it, to the public to help this cost of living crisis.
250
Really?
M's.
Yeah.
When?
Right, apparently that's what, I'm like, but
That's not doing
that doesn't
shit
cover
anyway.
You're just giving back money you took from
Yeah,
me,
bro.
Yeah.
That's a refund. That's a part exchange.
It's a start. It's definitely a start.
Fuck no.
No, it's a start, mate.
You're
Nah,
saying it's
man.
a start, but then he's going to have a 3-day coronation
what's that?
for when he becomes crowned officially.
And
We're
that's
gonna have
gonna
to pay
cost
for that.
peas.
Yeah.
So he's giving
yeah.
us the money to take it back.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
that?
word.
Bank
And to be
holiday.
fair,
Yeah, so we'll have a
250
bank
M's with
holiday.
the amount of people in this world that are suffering.
Bro,
That is
it is nothing, bro.
We might get
He didn't
20
even say a
pence back,
billy. Bro, the crossroad costs more than that, bro. We've been paying more towards that. I'm telling
Whoa,
you.
yeah, that's not
it's
doing
robbery
nothing.
all the time. I think Jordan Belfort said it in his book and in Wolf of Wall Street. He was
Yeah.
like, the royal family is like the biggest con ever.
Yeah.
And I love it because obviously he's a con man,
Yeah,
isn't it? So
yeah.
he's like, I can't believe they still get away with this.
Yeah.
Like, how have we still got this
This
shit?
country is very rich, but they lie to us that they're like that they're broke or they're going through it. They're lying.
What is the
This
country or the
country's
royals?
rich. This country.
Oh, in general. Oh,
No, there's a lot of
very rich.
from colonialism and the slave trade. They've got a lot of money. British Petroleum, all of that. Like they've got a lot of money. But what's funny is the way that, like you said, they'll be like, "Oh, we haven't got a magic money tree." But somebody just got 880 million.
Oh,
What? How did
God.
for
They'll
a
pull it
contract?
out
How
of
did
their back
that
pocket,
happen?
you know. They'll pull it out.
And it's
Wow.
for all of your friends. And Carol Vorderman, I love her at
I
the
saw
moment.
she was
She's flogging
smoking the other
them
day. Yeah,
every single
Yeah.
day.
There comes a point where flogging isn't enough. It's time to go outside.
Hey, Carol
Yeah.
Vorderman, did she get the BBL?
What?
Did she
I
get a
thought she was
BBL?
just cheeked off.
She got a BBL.
Did
Carol,
she get a BBL?
Carol
Did
was
she?
never double cheeked up like that. Was it times? What's the thing that she used to do? The
Countdown.
consonants.
Was it countdown?
Was that Carol Vorderman as well? Right?
Yeah,
Was
that
that Carol?
was.
Yeah,
She
Yeah,
was
that was
never
the math.
cheeked up like that.
I need to
What,
see
in
what
the
she
front
looks
or the
like.
back?
I think she
Where
did
do you have
both.
cheeks?
You
Yeah.
have front cheeks.
Okay.
Wait,
Put that
what?
shit at the front.
Wait.
I don't even know if she's had any procedures or
Whoa,
what
is
she's
this
had.
Carol?
Yeah, but
Carol
she said
never looked like that when she was giving out consonants and
said-
vowels, bruv.
Whoa.
What? That would have got taken down
No,
on
that she
Ofcom.
definitely wasn't. And she wasn't even blonde. Like,
Listen.
nah, she wasn't.
I'm
that
telling
blonde?
you, bro.
No, she wasn't. This is her back in the day.
Yeah, but you add a bit of highlighter.
Yeah, I know, but this is her now with the
She's
blonde hair.
serving. Yeah, she's
with the-
serving.
yeah, she's got something done.
She's serving, but she's really dealing with them, and I love that
Yeah.
energy. I'm just like, yeah, but this is what they need, because when black people are doing it, it's like, shut up.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
this
yeah.
white
Nah,
woman
but-
flogging you,
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
They're not listening. Man, because they see the way the French, and we always talk about the French, what they made, not rioting illegal, protesting.
Where? In France?
Especially with like the
Yeah.
high vis,
Oh.
the high vis people. I can't even remember when there was that whole thing of people in high vis like protesting in France. They did that for time.
Yeah.
They didn't have a
But we
bar.
can't even protest here again.
It's because we want to
can't.
go to work on Monday. We don't want it to fuck up our money.
But then this is the nature of it, because they were, and before the end, they will now start. Nobody's inciting that you should go and kill the royals, but they were from the French Revolution, from when they could take out Marie Antoinette and take out all of them people. They were like, "You are not going to rule over us.
Yeah.
That's not happening." And they literally took them to the guillotine. Done. From then, I think their power systems, their power structures have understood that the people are way more powerful than you know, that have that, that position. So when they protest, they listen because they know what it can look like, because it's
Yeah.
looked like that before. Over here, they've never had anything like that in that way.
They slap the president every 2 months over there. Have you not? They slap him.
Or throw a shoe at him.
They slap him. It's a fucking no, because this is what I'm also not understanding. You see, at work, like spend 5K wrongly. Work
It's
with
big.
cool team meeting.
Yeah,
Listen, the
yeah.
client isn't happy. We've misspent.
big.
They've
Yeah.
charged us. We've lost 5K. Boom, 5K.
Yeah.
This government has been messing up for time, and everyone just goes back to work tomorrow.
I've always said I believe it's spell work. Like I really believe that like there's serious spell work that's been done on the people of this country because they can't. It's like they're bound. They really can't rise. Like they can't do it. Even if they're angry.
There comes a point where we have to blame Labour.
Mess and Labour.
Yeah.
What did Labour do in particular?
They're not working hard enough.
To rise up.
They're
Yeah.
not
I hear what
working
you're
hard
saying.
enough.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
Jeremy
yeah.
Corbyn and what's the Keir Starmer?
Yeah.
Keir Starmer. What's his name?
Keir Stamina.
KSIM.
You two are butting heads, and you two need to figure it out because
But even Corbyn now, they don't want to listen to him. So every
No,
day he's
no,
just
no,
coming
yeah,
on Twitter
he's
to tell us
always-
what he would have done.
this is what I'm
Bro,
saying.
He's like, I
You
would have
lot-
done this.
Them lot were doing diss tapes in the House of Commons, bruv, or whatever. Like the way, wasn't it like there was a debate going on, and then Boris just drew out something from Keir Starmer's past?
Yeah.
He was like, "What the fuck does that? What does that have to do with anything?" What the man said? "Oh, you got like
Labour-
pedophiles in your cabinet anyway." Like, it was like, "What?"
Labour
mad.
are not working hard enough.
They're
Like,
trying
the devil is working.
harder.
Like,
Yeah.
So
what's going on?
His man just in the room like, so what? You're just gonna draw me out in front of everyone like this? Is he mad? Like, how does man just
Can't do
do that
that
in a
about it.
debate? We're talking about the country.
Yeah.
And man just said, "Oh, anyway, you got this guy." But obviously, we're like, so.
What are you going to say? What? Is it true? Like,
I mean,
what
I
are you
know
saying?
we're in bits, but
Yeah.
what do you have to say towards that? Like, it's bare smoke screen in the mirrors, bro.
From when Matt Hancock was lipsing and grabbing long back in the back offices.
Long back.
And people weren't enraged enough. They made
No.
it like his offense was, lockdown rules. I was like, no, I don't think that's the offense. I think we're missing what the offense is here.
Yeah, there's
Even
a-
like all the money that he gave out through WhatsApp and his Gmail accounts and whatever else. Like,
Wait, what?
Pete.
yeah.
You see, that was a smoke screen. I did not know
You
he
was
was
there
doing
looking at it, right? He
I
just
was,
grips and
I
out
was
back
like, yeah, man, why
at the
somebody
office.
so angry at him cheating on his wife? Like,
Yeah, no, he was handing out contracts or arranging contracts on his personal accounts from WhatsApp and everything else. And they were like, yeah, I mean, and one of them was to his sister. And they're like, oh yeah, well, who doesn't make a mistake? I'm just like, and then let him go on. I'm
now
a jungle.
it's all
or-
making sense now.
I'll tell you something.
I'm a jungle. In I'm a jungle.
Now he's in my jungle. Free hush puppy. Fuck it. Fuck it.
No, but this is where we,
Oh, my life.
we also have to question WhatsApp because they've been telling us end-to-end encryption.
You know who had the answers? It was our parents that had the answers. They probably got Matt Hancock ages ago. We didn't read it. We didn't read
It was a chain message.
They sent it.
What? Do you know the tomfoolery I've done on WhatsApp?
Oh my
That shit's so
god!
encrypted,
End-to-end
bro.
encryption.
They got all of that, and they were like, yeah, he was arranging this, he was arranging that. So
That's
end.
mad.
The fraud.
and
they
they
weren't even
were
saying
able to
fraud.
go there and come third in that whole celebrity competition.
Yeah,
people
it's
don't
making
care.
sense now. It's making sense. That whole cheating thing, that was just the...
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there was way worse. They
There was
made us
way
look
worse.
that Kansas
Yeah.
City shuffle, bro.
That's what they did, boy.
Kansas
No, why?
City
Because,
shuffle.
we're in a bubble in London.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
We're the only ones suffering like this. The rest of the country is fine. They're calm. Their own homeowners, local food
Farms.
dispenser farm. They don't have Tesco and that in all of these places. You know where the club card isn't working like it used to. You get to the end of it, it's deducted £8. You're thinking, bruv.
You know what? The people who are truly on crud, I think that they're too far up, like up north.
Yeah.
Scousers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Scousers.
Yeah.
If they managed to grab these people in Westminster,
Say,
they
no,
will,
Stanley.
what are you saying, mate? You having me on, mate? You know, like,
We haven't it for days. We haven't it for days.
I can't turn my fucking eating
On
on.
the Curtis team. Curtis and Lauren.
Where's my Lauren?
Where's my Lauren?
So where's my money? EDF is taking all my money.
Like, they would bad them up, but by the time they've taken the train to get
Yeah.
here,
They lost the
tired.
beam. They say, you know what? Where's the nearest travel lodge, bruv? Man needs to rest.
They'll be drinking Carlsberg all the way here.
They'll be drunk by the time they get here, fam.
Fuck it.
They're
They
the,
must
ones,
be
go home.
opportunities.
they're the ones who are on smoke because
Yeah.
Londoners, we ain't got it. We ain't.
We
We'll
have
get,
just-
up, we'll get
just
closer
suits.
Downing Street. I'm like, oh, he wants to go for a picnic.
Yeah.
I record a leg. Let's.
Yeah.
They're
End
not,
up
you're not
at
on it.
Primrose Hill
Yeah.
watching the sun go down.
We don't have it for
up in the street
Scousers.
market.
The way that they
Camden.
beefed the Sun
Yeah.
newspaper, that's when I knew that they were on it, because they held that grudge proper until something was done about what happened at Hillsborough and all of that. And I rate them for that. The Toxic riots, all of them, like they've been on it from early. It's us. I mean, again, not taking away from like what's happened here, there, because there are areas like Brixton and all of these things. Like things have, people have spoken
100%.
up, but they've kept the energy. We've calmed down. They've kept the energy.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, facts.
we've calmed
we're
all the
too
way down.
diluted over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It's diluted. It's diluted and divided.
Yeah.
That's what it is
Diluted
division. There's
and
too many
divided.
people
That's
with
deep.
different opinions and different.
And it's
In one place.
it's the tax brackets. Like
Ooh, yeah.
like London, there's rich, super rich, and the poor. Yeah, but in like other places like that, the disparity in wealth isn't as crazy. Yeah, you got the like wealthy footballers, boom, 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 but like more people at a
Working
a similar
class,
level.
They can kind of work together. But you're right about that. And I think that also we're kind of smelling a bit more money now, maybe as black people.
100%.
So now we're like,
I'm a bit liberal with that, actually.
It's a little
I don't want to rock the boat.
As long as it doesn't affect tax too much.
Yeah.
It's all
Got
right.
rid of stamp duty. That's a bit nice, you know.
Calm down a bit. Stamp duty holiday. Okay, let's go. Let's
All
go.
right, all right.
It's true. It's very true.
You got 2 months. I'll be back, man.
But it goes back to that thing of like, you'll get at people for what they do in power, but if you had a smidgen of that
yeah.
power, and once people even start stepping up that ladder in life, they're like, I don't mind voting Conservative. I don't mind doing this. I don't mind. Like certain things which you maybe wouldn't have done before.
Yeah.
You're like, actually, I don't mind that. It kind of benefits me.
That is the
So
thing.
I really rate anybody that can like get to a position of being far away from where they once was in terms of beliefs or morals, but still think of the people that are still in that position.
Yeah.
Because
But
that's fucking difficult, bro.
But then do you think that is only possible if you don't move out of your area? Because this is something that I've been thinking about. Like, obviously, as you progress in your career and everything else, I'm at this point where I'm like, yeah, but I kind of want to move eventually once I, get my things together to this particular, area and have this and that. But Peckham, like, that's...
Hard.
So if I go, then what does it mean for the
yeah,
people? Because from that point onwards, you're only speaking in theory.
Yeah.
Like you
You're
are
not
no longer a
connected.
part of it. You
Yeah.
are only speaking in theory. And then I guess essentially do you become useless in that regard?
It's a good question.
I'm disconnected. From,
I'm 100% disconnected.
Same.
I couldn't tell you whether my youth group is still open or not.
Wow.
Where I
Yeah.
was,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
where I lived at
Yeah.
my mum's house. I couldn't tell you whether that's still open. I couldn't tell you what's going on. So it's like, do I still have a voice?
Yeah.
Or is my voice still impactful?
Yeah, it is. Because we're not supposed to be in them conditions and environments.
Yes,
We're
which
supposed
you're
to
right.
be living on top of each other and struggling to pay gas bill, or we have to go to boss man and say I'll pay you tomorrow, or
Yeah.
we shouldn't have to live like that. Like,
And
it's
do you
not great
necessarily do
conditions.
you want to live? That's what I'm thinking at. But then do you want to live amongst everybody? And will they kind of be like, "Oh, look, you're fine. You're
right.
You're
Why
good.
you
Yeah,
here?
why
Yeah,
are you here?"
yeah,
Sort of
yeah,
thing. You kind of I'm weighing it up in my mind. I'm like, there has to be a way.
We have to be the nepotists,
Okay,
if that's even the word.
I get what you're
Like,
saying.
Yeah.
Nepotism, cool, it does what it does, but it creates jobs.
Yeah.
So that's what we just have to be, the ones creating
Creating
jobs
jobs,
for
yeah.
people,
Yeah,
creating
yeah,
new communities,
yeah.
new environments. Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
like,
that's
Because
true.
you're right, we're not
That's
meant
true.
to. Yeah, we're not meant to live on top of each other. And just because we essentially go doesn't mean that they should continue to live on top of each other. So that's what I'm kind of really fixated on. Now, something needs to change, because if you go, you're just talking for the sake of talking.
Yeah.
And then the white people will move in, and then we'll complain about gentrification from our places, which is already.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We moved to our already gentrified area.
yeah.
We complain that our ends got gentrified.
But I do sometimes think like I'm thinking like, how our gentrification, when we see like white people come in and we're like, oh my God, Starbucks is happening.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And then like when I think about where I've moved to, there's definitely an aspect of there's bare niggas coming in this place. Like, what the fuck is going on?
when I first got there, there was like hella black kids, and they were like 14 and that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so black people been here for a hot minute. Okay,
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
to try
yeah,
and
yeah.
find out where
Where they
more
are.
of you are. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is lit. They're outside of that. They're outside of it.
I saw, like, I've seen so many comedians make jokes about, oh yeah, when black people come down, the house prices go down, and people start selling and stuff. And that shit actually started happening. When I got there, it just started happening. I'm not going to say it was just because of me.
They saw you.
It was. It was.
Good.
Back it up. Back it up. I see him coming. Back it up.
I got there, and then like my neighbor across from me, black family. Right, lovely family. We're so cool, right? And I remember seeing them. I was like, "Oh, nice! Like black people in the area." I was like, "When did you get in?" They were like, "Oh, we got here December, and we let's say we moved. We got the house in February, but moved in like October
After COVID.
Yeah, after COVID, right? But they got there 2019 December or something. So I was like, "Oh, right, you're new." Like, so in my head, I was like, "Okay, you're new. You haven't been here for a long time. Cool. Let me see who else is here." There's like another black neighbor. He's probably been here for a few years. But then I started seeing next door neighbors selling.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the one next to me is selling.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it what has changed in the past few years? But that is, when we were talking earlier about white supremacy, I think that is what is so incredible about it, how people strategize. And everyone thinks, you know, like sometimes this mass shooter or whatever does something and like, oh, they're a lone ranger and oh, this person's part of, but it's only other people who are non-white that they're part of the network.
Right,
but white supremacy,
right.
you're also part of the network because you'll just telegraph that to each other.
100%.
I don't want to say anything, Cafe, honestly, and don't take this the wrong way. I'm not being funny, but my area is starting to look a lot different to what I'm used to.
100%.
Kathy's gotten the message. Kathy's like, oh,
100%.
Zoopla!
Yeah.
She's out.
100%.
White flight is a thing, and
Obviously,
they've done it in all these suburbs. Like they'll go the moment that you arrive,
100%.
and then the prices go down, and they take that elsewhere.
That's cool. Like, it's not nice that the prices drop, but if it does drop, that means more of us can be affording that quicker. So no problem. Let them move.
But it's where they're moving
Everyone
to. And that's what's the
cares?
weirdest thing, because they're leaving because you're there, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll go to an area where people who look like you but of a lower socioeconomic background are there, and they'll force them out of the area.
Mad. They go back to
they
where
go back.
you left.
They're like, let me go and flog your people.
I
I won't deal with your people in your village.
I want all of my people to have gardens or skyscraper apartments.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I
I think
want to see.
it should be a right, man, for us to have garden space because lockdown really showed that. Like
Oh
people's
my
mental.
God. Oh my God. I almost lost it in lockdown. It's only when I look back, I realize I lost it.
Yeah, see?
In the time, I didn't know I was lost. You know what I'm saying? I thought I
You
was
look at
found.
old pictures at yourself.
God.
Man grew out everything.
Listen, there's a picture of me. I actually need to, like, I'm holding my daughter and I look mad. Like, I could literally be like, this is mental health. Like, this is you in problems. And you thought you was all
I
right.
low-key was in my element. I don't go outside much.
Secretly.
So I was even more annoyed. Though, why is everyone inside now? Everyone's having a fucking good time inside. Go out, bro.
God, man.
Go out. Leave us introverts.
I was in bits in lockdown, but I thought I was enjoying myself. I did have good times, but there's definitely aspects I look back and I'm like, right, I was just like, what's the word? It's like, not snappy, but it's like, I could just want to argue.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
it's all that rage though, and I think that's why we had the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement, and everybody was out on road, because suddenly, with you not having anything else to do, you could tap into the rage that has actually been there the whole time, like from childhood.
Without
all the things
being
that,
distractions.
Yeah, no distractions. All the things that you've been through growing up, and you're like,
what the fuck? Yeah. Like, you know what's mad? Like, I remember going to like work, and I'll never forget when we was going to these times when we was at Soria. I think I can't remember who it was, but there was a guy that was murdered by the police. It was police brutality, and the guy was murdered in America. And I remember it just really like hurt my soul. And I remember just going to work thinking, fuck, man. It was just in my heart, but I was like, no one's gonna understand.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one before George.
This is way before George.
Yeah.
Way
I
before
remember.
George. And I was like, I can't actually say I want a day off today because of that.
Imagine that.
Do you get what I'm saying? But really and truly, I could really do with just like being away from everyone.
The thing is, black people don't be taking days off like they should.
I should have called in sick.
Because you feel like your job is in a very precarious situation.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
they
all the
might
time.
find me
Yeah.
doing what I'm doing on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't need the day off, but I'm taking it
Yeah.
and I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I'm like, I can't even snap and enjoy. But you're entitled to 10 free sick days. Most workplaces give like 5 or 10,
Yeah.
or a mental health day. Or it's just
Yeah,
not
we
feeling
don't
it
take
today. You
them.
can literally
Don't
just
We
say,
don't.
hey.
Yeah. We don't. And we should. We should
They'll watch
definitely
your stories and see you
Oh,
there.
yeah, they'll be
and
like
the
mental
moment
health,
they,
yeah?
the
Yeah,
moment
yeah,
that
this is
they
what's
click
helping
double
me.
tap
Yeah.
on your stories and let you see that they saw.
Yeah.
That's why you get like a green circle
watch
around
that.
your story.
And there's always a moment in work where you're like, man, I'm never fucking calling in sick again, man. This is not even worth it. Like, there's certain points. Like, I remember there was one time I was at Sainsbury's and it was like the one day I was like, rah, I have a sick day. I'm going to use it. I'm not sick, but I'm going to use this shit. I called, I said, I think I called my bridge. I said, what should I say? Because if I say I got a cold, I don't know if I need to act. I don't want to do. I don't want to do that acting shit. I just want something which can just get me past the door.
Yeah.
And you don't
Yeah.
want to go
Sick.
too extreme. man.
I never do that.
Yeah,
I
no.
never do my nan died. I don't want a revelation and then my nan's dead and
Yeah, she died,
You can't
she
kill
died
relatives
twice.
no
then
more,
I'm,
man.
you know what I mean? I'm at the funeral saying, of course, dear. Like, I don't want to do that, right? So I was like, what can I say? And my brother was like, I'll say food poisoning.
Yeah,
'Cause that can
that's
just
the
happen
one.
today.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
What
3
time
days.
do you say at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
the night before?
Right.
I got food poisoning, or do you wake up at 6 and say I got food
I'm
poisoning?
a rookie.
It's like-
I'm calling in 20 minutes before the shift. I'm just like, fuck it. Because I just woke up and said, I don't want to go in, bro.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, we wake up with time just to brush our teeth, bath, and go.
Yeah.
So then obviously I've said, rah, food poisoning. Lady said, oh, okay, no problem. Like, what you think? I was like, yeah, symptoms, yeah, my belly's just hurting.
Yeah.
She said, okay, no problem. Okay, well, go to the GP and go do this, some sort of test where you have to poo in a cup or something like that, and they test you out for it. I was like, what?
I don't have to do that.
I don't have to do
I
that.
definitely
And also,
don't.
I'm
7
ill.
days.
Yeah.
7 days you can self-certify anyway.
Yeah.
But she was just on some vibe, and obviously this is my first time calling in sick. So I'm like, this shit ain't fucking working, bro. She's telling me to shit in a cup. What's going on? Like, there's oppression on the bridge. What is going on, bro? They're oppressing me.
There's oppression on the bridge.
They're oppressing me, bruv. I'm trying to call in sick and she's telling me to shit in a cup. What's going on? And then it's like, from then, I remember I just developed this sort of thing of like, it's not even worth it, bro. Just don't. Then when I got older, I started more.
Yeah,
But, like, I
But
remember being young.
that's what they want you to do. That though, they
Yeah.
want it to be scary for you to call in sick.
Yeah.
So then you go with it. But I'm just like, no, I'm not going to the GP.
Nah, I'm not.
I'm not going to the GP.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
Now
it.
they're trying to charge for missed appointments.
All
Oh,
of this
what, the
stuff.
GP?
I'm not
not mad at- I'm not mad at it.
horribly angry at it, bruv. If you book an appointment, go
Go to the
Yeah.
appointment,
Yeah.
bruv.
What the hell are you
Or
back
call
in
to
for,
cancel.
like?
Call to cancel. That's fine.
Cancel it.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the
That's
council.
fine.
But fucking, let's do an intro because I want to talk more about Harry and his unconscious bias. Or what was he said in there?
God, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw you flames it in, boy. Now he's every show. My name is Temi Alchemy.
I'm Fred Santana.
Got a shooter in the house.
Yeah.
Big shooter. Big black magic.
Go for it.
He might be a stripper on the weekends. Black magic to the stage. Nigga, overseas, underseas, on God and him, whatever God. It's my nigga VP in the cut. That's a scary sign.
Yo.
And we got the flogger of all floggers.
The floggiest. The floggiest.
We
Waka
got
flogger.
Kelechi. Waka flogger in the
Logisha.
Waka flogger in the house. We got Kelechi in the house.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks for
say
having
your
me.
mind, you know what I mean? Or
What's
suck your
your
mother.
favorite big word?
Oh, serendipitous.
Oh, I love that word.
What does
love
it mean,
it.
though?
It's
It
just
means it's like surprise. Sorry.
Go on.
I just really
You
wanted
were
to.
excited.
I-
Go on, go on.
You know what it is? Because when I met somebody, that was their whole thing. Like that. It was. It's a funny story because I met the guy in like the changing room of a spa. And like we just both had our towels on, and
And you're like, oh, isn't this serendipitous? I can't even say it.
but he was just super cool. Like we just got into mad stuff. I don't know why we was talking with our towels on, but it was like
I was at the bench with one leg up.
Just a ball hanging.
I said, what's your name? What's your name? So it's like, but it was like, I don't know, he just started talking about what he does, and he's like, do you remember Paddy? Remember Paddy? Ages ago?
Your mentor.
Yeah. So it was like, he was just, I remember he just started speaking about, he's like a concierge, he takes around like wealthy people, all that kind of stuff at the time. And he was just a very interesting guy, but I remember his business card was, I think his business name was like Serendipity.
Yeah.
And I was like, what does that mean? Like, what is that? I didn't know what that meant. And he was like, oh, it's just like surprise when something just sort of like happens in a certain way. And he was like, sort of like the way we've just met. And I'm like, yeah, no, towels, yeah, you're right. This makes sense. Serendipity. So I've always remembered the name, or no, not the name. I've always remembered what that means.
Yeah.
From
Wow.
that moment. Yeah.
What about your favourite buzzword?
Oh, my favourite buzzword has to be misogynoir.
Misogynoir.
Because I feel like I'm constantly using it. I think if I were to do a search, I would just, that's all I
And
would
that
see.
one's
of me.
specific to black.
Black woman.
Yeah, black women, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Misogynoir.
Because there was one. Oh, what was it? Oh, there's a horrible definition for daddy issues.
What is
That I
it?
What's
looked
the definition?
It was specific to women.
What do they call it?
No, like you know, like
Oh,
you know
right.
what daddy issue is.
okay, right.
It's
Like
only
only
specific
women have
to
it.
women.
Women,
I'm like,
yeah,
what kind
yeah,
of foolishness is
yeah,
this?
yeah.
Men can have daddy issues too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Like, this is terrible. We need to change that one on Google, bruv.
You should.
Yeah, it's wild. It is wild.
On the wikis.
Misandry doesn't get used enough.
Yeah, because oftentimes when it's being used, it's like, that's not
The
Yeah.
thing
what
is,
it
I
is.
said it to my girl, and she said that's not a word.
Oh.
That's how unused it is.
yeah,
That's what gets
yeah,
men,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
She was like, that's not
Yeah.
a word. I said,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
That one there, you can't just say that one. Men have done too much. You can't just be out there saying misandry.
Misandry.
You can't do that one.
I don't think that's. I mean, there are genuine misandrists. There are genuine misandrists, but I
100%.
don't think you've encountered them yet. These ones are
Nah.
just telling you to behave and act like you have
Yeah,
sense.
but I don't want to. Misandry, bro.
Don't we feel misogyny gets thrown around? Everything can get thrown around
Yeah.
wrongly.
Yeah.
I've seen it get thrown around incorrectly.
Yeah,
of
There's
course.
definitely
Yeah.
abuse of how people use that term. People use it very loosely.
Yeah.
As they use many terms, even friend. People use the term friend very
I remember
loosely.
was saying
we
as
that
went,
well.
we went to a
Yeah.
panel in Northampton. or
Oh my
something once.
god, that was abuse.
What did I even?
I can't remember what you said, but
It
she
had
said
nothing
that's
to
because
do-
you're a misogynist. I said, what the fuck?
what did you do?
I said,
had
What did you
nothing-
do?
I said, hold on, wait, we travelled up the fucking M11. When you paid us to be here, someone just said he's a misogynist. I'm there like, Fred, what are you going to say about that, bro?
I don't even know what that means.
On my life, at that point in time, I was like, what? I was so confused because it was random. It was so, I just know whatever was being said didn't warrant that.
Wow.
It was
When I
like,
googled it after,
you know
it was
what?
like, you hate women. I was like,
right.
What did I do now? What have I
You
done?
know my favorite long word, ad hominem.
Oh,
That was an ad hominem. She
Okay.
straight attacked him.
Yeah.
She didn't look at what he was saying. She just attacked his character. Do you get what I'm saying?
because you're a misogynist. Woo.
It was like, I wish I could remember the debate, but I remember it
think
wasn't. It wasn't even a debate like that.
I
Like,
think it was just more about, silly shit, just like dating women.
Okay.
Something, and it was like, I can't remember, but she hit me with misogynist. I was like, I don't know what that means. But cool.
yeah,
Okay.
it was
Afterwards,
it was a wild one.
You got
yeah.
a big buzzword you like?
I don't like words.
I'm a man of action. Action.
Dyslexia kicked in.
I started thinking about words that came out of my head in like Google. I don't even do it. That's what I was in my mind right now. I was like, yeah, man.
Oh, so fucking Harry, what was his word? Unconscious what?
Unconscious bias.
Was that the one he used?
Yeah, and he said that it was different from racism.
Hate that
We
shit.
hear that a lot in the workplace.
Because that's when
Yeah.
they started rolling out unconscious bias training.
Training.
When I got
Yeah.
to the training, the teachers teaching, I was like, this sounds like racism.
Yeah, 100%.
That sounds like sexism.
Yeah.
That one there is Islamophobia.
Yeah.
That one is negative
And they
towards
call it
disabled.
it.
Yeah,
bro.
Unconscious bias. What is
If you work in an office job, you've definitely heard of that term.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
unconscious
Yeah.
bias,
Bias.
and they started rolling out bare
The
training.
training
Yeah.
was
And I would
lengthy.
sit there, I'm
It's
like,
long.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, no, man, I don't need this. I know what these things are, bro.
Yeah, bro. I know what the fuck that is when I
That's
see
not
it.
about
You are
me.
preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
I should be teaching the class.
Yeah.
Because this is a white person teaching.
Right.
Unconscious bias.
That's the worst thing. They always got white trainers in, and you're like, man, you couldn't even get us to teach it.
That's consciously biased.
Yeah,
Right.
like that. Yeah, there's a conscious bias there, and then it's like, so just because you're not aware of what you're doing means that you're not doing it.
And then you're telling me how to feel about it.
And how I should regulate myself. So is that not, again, this is what I'm saying, like all of these terms,
Give
it
us
still
a
comes
blind.
back to white supremacy. Like you want me to be okay with how I'm being treated,
Yeah.
but you will not change that behavior. You're just telling me, well, I didn't mean to.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
unconscious bias,
Exactly.
we know that it is definitely a thing. All of us are unconsciously biased towards certain
Something.
things.
100%.
Yeah, but it's it could be random things. It could be like raspberries. It could be
Yeah,
anything.
bro, of
There's just a
course.
way that you've grown up that means that you have a bias towards
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
things.
yeah.
The
You're
un.
partial to certain
That's
things.
conscious bias.
Yes.
You see that I'm black. You see that's a raspberry. You don't like the raspberry. You don't like black. You made a conscious decision that you're not going to hire it and you're not going to eat it.
But
You
that's what I
decided
mean.
to
Like,
hire the white person and eat the banana. Conscious. I made these decisions awake.
but that's why I don't want them to. That's why I don't want them to use it on things like that. Like use it on freaking raspberries. Don't use it on humans. I mean, I don't even really want you to use it on raspberries, but don't use it on humans. You know what you're doing. Like you
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
you're
You know what
doing.
he said? He said you made these decisions awake.
Yeah. It's correct.
Listen,
I hear
Like,
it.
it's mad.
nothing is unconscious bias.
No,
That's
no,
a
no.
lie that they told themselves, then they tell others, this, you're not racist, you're just unconscious. That's a
Unconsciously
lie.
biased.
Because they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't want to use the term. For some reason,
No.
everybody's allergic to that term.
No one
racism.
wants to
they don't.
say
They don't
I'm
want.
racist.
Yeah, they don't want to use that term. So they're trying to find other terms that makes them feel better.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they
yeah.
don't have to use that. But like you said, we're still coming back to the same thing. It's still racism, sexism, ableism. It's still
of it.
transphobia, Islam. It's all of it.
Yeah.
Use the actual term and stop
Yeah.
using that term because you're using that.
100%.
It's like, to me, why it's ridiculous. It's like I come to you lot now and I'm like, guys, I broke a limb. God forbid. I broke a limb. Kelechi, which limb? A limb? No, can you be specific? Which limb? Like a leg, an arm, a limb. That's what it sounds like to me. Like, don't call me racist. Call me unconsciously
Yeah,
biased.
yeah.
No, what is
What
it?
is it?
What is it? What is
What is
it?
it?
I need to
What are you
know.
unconsciously biased about?
Like,
What are you biased
is
about?
it?
What are you biased
is it,
to?
Is it a woman? Is it
Yeah,
women, black people?
yeah.
Be specific so I know
Hella
what is
vague.
happening in this situation.
Elevate.
And they don't want to be specific because it's just like,
Yeah,
I just want it to be as varied as possible.
It's
So I've done
scary.
a lot of I've taught a lot of anti-racism workshops and with the Met Police and
Yeah.
all of these like different organizations. And when I come in, I'm kind of like, I feel sorry for you, for whoever booked me, because I'm not doing unconscious
Yeah,
bias
yeah,
training
yeah,
with
yeah.
you. We're going to
wait.
talk about the roots of white supremacy,
Yeah.
and everybody tightens up. Everybody tightens up.
Can you start the presentation, please? Why are you all racist? It's class in session. Thinking, whoa,
Literally.
when is lunch,
Like-
bro?
They all grabbed their radios.
And they
Shout
start
out,
getting
listen.
stressed. They start
Yeah.
getting stressed, and you can see some people climb up and ask them questions like, "When did you realize you were white?" Wow, I don't understand
I've
the
never
question.
thought about
All
it.
right, that's fine. When did you, the rest of you, when did you realize you weren't white? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all got a moment.
I was going to interject. Okay, when did we all realize we was black?
When did we realize we was black?
Think back.
Now, you know what's so funny? If I think back,
But wait.
it's even earlier than
But
that.
then the question is, what is being black? Is it more than just your skin color, or is it?
I just think it was just noticing that you look different.
Different.
But
To
if you were
white
born here,
people or-
but if you were born here, like I wasn't
we
born
kind of
here,
know.
so
But
I
if both
came
your
here.
neighbors, one of my neighbor was black. My area had enough black people. Boom, boom, boom. So it's like different to who?
Yeah, because I grew up in Peckham. When I arrived from Nigeria, I grew up in Peckham, so I was kind of around black people, but I was also around a lot of white people. I don't think it just wasn't really sinking in. Maybe it might have been, I just remember my stepdad saying something to me one day and being like, I was speaking in Yoruba constantly, and he's like, Kelechi, you are in England now, you have to really start speaking English. And I was just like, why? Like, why is it a problem to just say, so then from then I was just like, all right, cool, English
Because
it is then.
What's weird is realizing you're black shouldn't be your first encounter with racism. But when I think about it,
that's what your mind goes to.
When something may have or should have clicked was when I encountered it, but I didn't realize it
at the time
until a few years.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. If I look back, I'm like, it's earlier than that.
Situation. So I should have realized that. But then I'd have to think, was there anything before that was like, that's questionable. But I didn't experience racism till 13, 14.
Yeah.
Or realize that you were experiencing it.
Yeah, no, but then I didn't clock. Oh, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Till like 17, 18.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because it never happened again.
Yeah.
Until to make me think about it. Or someone to like. Then you start sharing experiences in college. Like, oh, this happened.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that wasn't a good thing. Like that wasn't normal. That wasn't 100%. That's what I'm saying. If I think back, I'm like, actually, when it's earlier than what I thought.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely things that have happened. I'm like, wait, that was probably because I was black. Actually, when I think about it, like,
but realizing being black, I don't ever want to say it's because of racism or I saw a white kid and then I looked at mine because I grew up around black kids, so we was all black. But I don't. Maybe realizing that maybe when I used to watch Nigeria play football,
that's when you realized you were black.
Not like realized I was black, but that gave me a sense of like black pride.
Black pride.
I'd rather attribute my blackness to prideful things rather than racism.
But because of the nature of why blackness was constructed, I'm not surprised that the first kind of inclination that people have that they're experiencing racism or that they're black is through experiencing racism.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, we didn't have like the racial stratas. We didn't have that.
Yeah.
And so then in around 1735, Carolus Linnaeus, he wrote a book or whatever, and in that's when he classified Homo afer and Homo europaeus, and then basically all the classifications that we use now, all the stereotypes that we use now about black people, like they're angry, that's what he listed down.
Right.
Carolus Linnaeus, white man's. So
imagine.
So he listed all of this down, and this was during the Enlightenment period when they were all like, "Oh, we're so smart, and everybody else is ridiculous." So that basically, even though they'd already started teetering over to Africa prior to that from what he wrote and other people who joined him in writing texts like that, it gave them the kind of justification to go and start the transatlantic slave trade properly, because they were like, well, they're not even human. So that was what he did. They used like
they
pseudoscience.
them, right?
Yeah, they used pseudoscience and said the Homo afer is not human, the Homo europaeus is, and they're smart and they're this and they're that. So they took those and they went, so this justifies why we should use them as workers because we are of an enlightened mind.
Wow.
So
Same way we got Benedict Cumberbatch and his family. We need to track down his lineage too.
Aye. The funniest thing is, I swear, like it's just like
he's the leader.
His grandmother or something was saying, if you want to be an actor,
Change your name.
change your name.
You
'Cause
better
they saw
change it.
it. They saw it.
Yeah. They said, bro, you're about to go big time. Do you know what we've done? Do you know our lineage?
Bodies on bodies on bodies.
Him. You better just change it. The man said, I'm Doctor Strange. I'm good. Like,
I can exist in this multiverse of fuckery. They said, no, you can't. No, you can't.
get him.
We had multi-plantations. You don't want to do that.
How do we feel about someone like him existing though? Like obviously it's not him that's done it, but his lineage has come from it. What do we because it's not like, I'm not gonna be on the vibe of he shouldn't play Doctor Strange anymore, or he should lose his family is his family, innit? Or his lineage, shall we say. Now, what do we expect him to do from here on.
That's the thing.
Just run the reparations and continue with your life.
Literally that all day, every day redistribution of wealth.
Right.
Because of what they did, you've been allowed, your family, your lineage is allowed to be where they are.
Yeah.
Reverse engineer that and give money back. Significant money back as well.
Yeah.
Give up that plantation as well. Like give up the real estate, give up the land. Like you need to give things up. And it's like what you said earlier about power. If you're not willing to give up power, then you're just talking. You're just talking.
Yeah. That's the thing. At this point now, you're rich anyway, bruv. What is it to give back the plantation and all of that stuff? It's your family home. They might have like sentimental value to you, but it's like
people died there. People were
died
tortured there.
like,
They were held against their will there. Like it doesn't matter how it's making your heart go boom, boom, boom. Give the thing back. Give the thing back.
Run it.
I hear it.
Guys, I'm definitely going to interrupt this conversation so that you know all about our new show, Things We've Watched, on Thursdays. Make sure you check that out on Thursdays. We're going to be talking about things we've watched, what we've seen on TV, what we watch in the cinema, what we're doing with Film Club. Just make sure you check that out on a Thursday. Like, comment, share, subscribe, let your friends know. Brand new show, because I know you love us talking about TV and film. So we moved that from the main pod to a separate pod.
Joel's fully riding with his woman, though.
Yeah.
Like, ain't it funny how we
But they're
pick brothers
smugglers
but
together.
But he's riding with his woman, like.
Yeah, but if you had a woman in your life that was on crud, that's who you would choose. Do you know what I mean? It's just whoever's on smoke, bruv. Like straight. If Miss Our Fabulous was here, I'm rolling with her, bruv.
yeah, fuck it. Celebs.
I'm rolling with her.
In the UK, who are we rolling with? I hear it. I something that I love that you I've never been into astrology.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, right? But when I've looked at is it Hidden Colors, things from like Tariq Nasheed and stuff like that. And they've spoken about like, you know, how they made, you know, black magic look bad, or how they've made like astrology, all these things like people knew about days and all this stuff before there was paper, all these kind of things. I'm like, rah, is there, other than let's say God and higher beings and things like that, is there something that governs us that we don't know? Or is there something that's in us that is being controlled by just the world, the universe, and we're not in tune with it? I'm not necessarily into zodiac signs, but it's like, is there something that makes us in tune without it being, oh yeah, you pray to God? Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm more curious about it now.
Yeah, and I'm glad.
I'm
glad that more people are reaching that space of just being curious. Like, you don't have to do anything with it, but just being open to different points of view. Because I think that when we look at the way that capitalism has us specifically as black people in a sort of chokehold, like it doesn't allow us to consider anything outside of what we have been told in order that we can be the workers that we are required to be, right? But if you take yourself outside of that and really just look, like if it was going to rain, like you know that rain happens, you know that sun happens, you know that these are, you know, these things are governed by what's happening in the atmosphere, you know that. So if it's going to rain, you're going to take out an umbrella. But then someone tells you that, okay, well, Jupiter's doing this, so you might want to be aware that Jupiter, shut up, demonic things, like what? But you understand that the sun can affect you. You understand that. You understand that the moon can move the tides.
Yes, and
so
we're made of water.
We're made of water. So what do you think happens? And so most murders are actually committed on full moons.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. A&Es are, if you ask anyone, accident emergency wards are mad when it's full moon.
Really?
Yeah.
So
and
we're like werewolves.
Exactly. But then the manifestation of a werewolf is based on our shadow
Who the
self.
fuck created werewolves when I think about it? That's some
But it's
sick and
from my
twisted shit.
imagination, because
Maybe
it's
they
us.
knew that shit.
Because it's just us. It's just us, like our untamed self.
Yeah.
And so I think about things like that, and I just think, how can I be of better service to myself and like those around me and whatever, and kind of working with the energies that are around to help that. I believe that there is a source of creation that we call God, spirit, whatever. I believe in that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I also feel like one thing that we weren't given enough of, or we don't talk about enough, is free will. Like, yes, all of these things exist, but if you decide as a combination of cell and soul that you want to move mad, that's not you do what you want to do. That is fine, but you do have help all around you all of the time. You just have to be able to ask for the
Yeah.
help or tap into the help.
Yeah.
So factual things, people be like, oh, but that's astronomy that you can see the sun, or that the sun is 92 million miles away, but you can feel the heat. In fact, if you got closer to it, you would die. Like, you know that. The moon, you know that. It goes
Fred disagrees.
He disagrees with that.
you think that you'll be fine.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, yeah. It's not. It's true.
If we get a little bit closer, I don't think we'd die.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Just a little
Just
bit.
90 million miles.
What?
What?
You said 92 million miles.
Yes.
So if it was 90 million miles.
Okay, that's not a little bit, bruv.
That's 2 million miles closer.
But have you seen what's happened with like the climate change currently?
What?
Just how we are 92 million miles away and what we're experiencing with
Let me
climate
make sure
change.
I've got this maths right. Currently, we're 92 million miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think if we reduce that by 2 million miles,
Yeah.
we'd burn to death?
I feel like there's a chance, or not even necessarily that would burn
It'd
to
be
death, but it
extreme.
would really, really change our ecosystem. Because
Okay.
look at the planets that are a bit closer to the sun and how they're moving.
Okay, but
That's
wait,
something I
okay,
don't
look.
even know.
Wait.
Yeah, exactly. How are they moving? Like,
What is going on?
we'll get to that one because. Okay, cool. So the Okay, I'm gonna do this one first. So
Okay.
say you got a fireplace.
Yeah.
From here, you're cool. From 20 centimeters closer, you're cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Until you
Okay.
put your hand in it.
Well, no, because
No. Then that's where the issue now
no,
comes.
but
innit?
imagine sitting there for a prolonged.
Period of
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
That's cool. How long? No, I'm not saying sit in the fire.
No, but I'm saying that
No,
doesn't
no,
work
no,
closer.
Say now. Say the fire's on the wall.
Yeah.
Now if I get halfway,
Yeah.
prolonged period of time, I'm cool. I'm not
Okay.
gonna burn away.
Okay.
That's where the Earth is.
No. The Earth is here.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Cool,
okay,
cool,
okay.
So if I move it forward until we're within serious distance,
Okay.
I don't think we're burning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under, you know, like
Yeah.
a
But
young
things will
2
change.
million mi-
Things will change
Yeah,
atmospherically,
things will
though.
change atmospherically.
So maybe
I
we could
understand
choke to death.
As things change atmospherically from Antarctica to the equator to the Greenland, things change.
Yeah.
Because at the bottom it's not getting as much sunlight. Cool, no problem. But people are looking at, it's just gonna burn, but no one's thinking, okay, what if something totally different happens? Because cool, you can't even recreate it. Like, you know, people do experiments and they say,
Yeah.
we've recreated the conditions. Impossible.
Yeah, it is.
Because
yeah.
you can't create anything as hot as the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every test they've done should be inconclusive because it's not at the actual temperature of the sun.
But
And
are you
they-
willing to find out?
Yeah.
That's good. That's what we need to know. I'm not. Maybe
for the
I'm
sake
the
of my
shookhead.
argument,
Yeah.
I'm the shookhead.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the shookhead.
Yeah.
Like, I respect that you are willing to find out. I think I'm the shookhead where I'm like, you know what? I'm good with the 90.
but who's to say the Earth wouldn't flourish
At that higher temperature.
At a higher temperature? No one knows.
I mean,
But then again, cool. There are
But
what's
based on the
closer to
fire-
what's closer to the sun? The moon gets closer to it because it orbits the Earth.
yeah.
So it will be moon side at some point. The moon has never combusted.
Okay.
Grown up, nothing has drastic.
But there's not life there.
Yeah, I'm not saying is it habitable.
But
Yeah.
then wouldn't
Or
that mean that we're
oxygen
not habitable?
or-
Yeah.
No, like different oxygen, gravity, like it's
There's
got
different things apart
from the
but
sun.
it hasn't blown up,
Yeah.
combusted. So
Okay.
again, we don't know if the Earth moves closer. That now means that removes oxygen. Who says who?
Well, let's see.
Cool. Now we're saying the ozone layers tearing apart.
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. So it's getting hotter anyway, but we're still here surviving.
Thereabout, yeah.
No, well, I haven't breathed different. I haven't breathed different. It doesn't hurt to breathe. The photosynthesis is still happening with the trees.
You know,
Yeah.
It's all happening.
when you simplify it, I get it, but it's way more complex.
It's
Because
it's not.
No, but
But-
there's not just us that is here that we live off. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's
Like
the ecosystem,
yeah, the whole
yeah.
ecosystem.
Yeah, that's what I said. The photosynthesis is still happening from the plants.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
ecosystem.
I hear you. But what we've seen is that when it was hot in this country, the plants started setting on fire or they
No,
started
don't
dying.
bring that one again.
No,
So
no,
I
but
told you,
that's
some
what
of
it is.
that- but
That's
that's
what it
it's a
is.
cigarette
They didn't
into
flick
the
a
forest.
cigarette. No, no, but
But
I'm
what about
telling you.
Australia?
What happened there?
They have forest fires all
All
the
the
time.
time.
Wildfires can happen.
Yeah, I know, but imagine that happen everywhere.
You know,
man.
it's because you're looking at it like if we get closer, if our skin's okay, we're all right. It's like, bruv, everything will be burning before that.
Yeah.
Like, we'll die from different things other than just like oxygen, if that makes sense.
But you're just saying we won't die from burning.
From burning,
yeah. We won't die from burning. I agree with
That's
that.
why
I
the
agree with
example
that.
of being closer to the fireplace makes sense in that sense.
But other things will die.
Other things will die. That we need.
Things are dying currently.
Yeah.
So who says we're even at the optimum distance?
No, we're not.
Maybe it takes a little more heat to balance things.
Somebody cook it.
We need to cross over.
Maybe we're currently imbalanced.
We're medium rare.
Well done.
Medium well will be better.
52,000 miles million.
It's mad.
This astrology thing, I like what you said about. Okay, we know the moon does this with the tides and and. So what's Jupiter on?
Jupiter, I love that you said that. So probably your Jupiter rule chart. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, right? So anything that Jupiter touches, it magnifies. So wherever Jupiter is in your chart, that is where you have the best chance of getting more of that thing. So for instance, Jupiter is currently in Aries, so we're seeing a lot more, I feel like more waswas, you know, like, because Aries is about...
God of War.
Exactly. So with Jupiter there, Jupiter is impartial. It will just amplify whatever is there.
Someone that
That's
is
making
an
sense.
Aries.
Right.
You mean like star sign? Someone that's an Aries is on violence at the moment.
They might not necessarily be. They might find that more of it is happening
Happening
around
sooner.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, wait, is it like the world is in Aries right now, like this planet, or is it just
So
individuals?
Jupiter is currently in Aries. So for instance, I'm an Aries rising, right? So in my chart, so you need to, for you to know your chart, you would need to know the exact time that you were born, or roughly, ideally exact time you were born.
So this is what the tarot cards are for.
No, this is separate, but I use them interchangeably.
Right.
So basically, if you're studying astrology, not astronomy, astrology, you believe
Right.
that the first moment that you took your breath was you entered into this physical world. The way that the stars were, every planet, ends up being in a sphere, right? Because we look at the world and it's like that. So you kind of take it like a pie chart and you knock it down flat like that. You took your breath so that the alignment of all of that would be your map while you're here. So if you ever needed it, you would know. And it would also tell you about the energies that you're likely to interact with in life. So you know best if you open up your map, like, okay, so this is going to happen when I get here and and you can kind of navigate.
Yeah.
It's not something that, like, again, free will is a thing. You can choose not to use that. You could be born into certain circumstances that you can only activate or use certain things later on. So because of where I was born at whatever time, took my first breath, this is exactly where each planet was the moment that I took my first breath. And so that falls into the sphere of Aries, this, that. So Aries would be my first house, which is how I appear to the world. So Aries, like you said, is God of War, right? So when people first meet me or they encounter me, what they first see is that...
This bad buzz.
It makes a lot of sense still.
But actually, because that's how I appear in the world, right?
Yeah.
But if we look at where my sun sign is, as in what people call their star sign, because the sun is a star, right? When you look at where my sun sign is, my star sign, it's in Libra. So I only ever utilize the God of War energy to get justice.
Right. Okay.
But then also it depends on how much I've grown in Libra, how much my sun has kind of explored Libra. So again, we look at degrees.
Right.
So if I'm an early degree of Libra, that means that maybe I might just pop off and I just think that it's just to me. But if I'm a late degree of Libra, with 27 degrees, that means that I really take my time to think, like, do I need to do this thing at this time?
Okay.
So
And what are you?
I'm a Libra sun.
You're a Libra sun, and then to what degree?
What is my degree? Let's have a look. I think my degree, if I'm not mistaken, is like 16. Let's see. I could just be lying.
What's your star sign?
I'm a Leo.
Oh wow! So you were always gonna you're always gonna be known. Leo's the only sign in the entire zodiac chart, or the zodiacs that's ruled by the sun. None of us are ruled by the sun. Only Leo.
I've heard that still.
So Leos
does that mean?
move with that energy. Imagine you are ruled by the thing that we orbit.
So I rule over.
So exactly. So you move with the energy
King
of
of
like
everything.
main character energy.
Hey, you heard that? Say, I'm even appointing you queen.
What is a Leo?
A lion.
Oh, okay, cool.
So my Libra is at 12 degrees.
Right.
So I'm somewhere
In between.
in between. I'm learning as I go along. Like it's not everything. It's not every day. Kelechi,
Yeah.
take it easy. But you kind of learn that.
Yeah.
You know. So I've had to have a lot of like lessons along the way to
Yeah.
get to this point where I'm like, all right, cool. You know. And so Libra is in my 7th house. And the 7th house is the house of marriage, partnerships, long-term commitments. So
Right.
it's there in my 7th house, letting me know that it's no matter how much I'm doing, it's me against the world. I need partnerships. I need collaborations in order for me
Right.
to be truly able to fulfill the things that I came here to do.
Okay.
So that, and that's just a simple 1-7. So all I've done is just gone, I'm an Aries rising. So 6 houses away from that, which would be opposite Aries, would be Libra. And so that's my 7th house of partnership. 1st house, 7th house. It's important to know these things because basically now, Jupiter is in Aries in my 1st house. So I'm finding that I'm being magnified more, like I'm being seen more, hence
Right.
the news things
Right,
suddenly.
right,
because
right,
before
right.
Jupiter entered into there, I wasn't really doing new things. They weren't hollering at me like that.
You
And I've done
weren't flogging.
nothing different. I've done nothing different. I'm still doing
That's
all
true.
the things. I'm
That's
still
true.
just doing my normal things. But suddenly,
true.
Kelechi, do you want to do this? Because Jupiter will come in and amplify.
It makes sense. Everybody
thing.
seems to be at war these days as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but everything you see is just everybody's beefing, bruv.
Bruv, every time I even see on your Instagram, I'm like, why did they invite her there?
Oh, wait, this is even making sense. This is why Blueface and Krishan is everywhere.
Oh
bruv.
my
Yeah.
God.
This is
Conflict.
making sense, bruv.
Conflict.
Them niggas are doing astrology. Because I don't understand how the fuck. Even to the point, like, Mandy's been telling me about it. Like, and she
Listen.
don't pay. And she's like, what is this about? I'm like, I don't understand. I think
don't
it can
know.
only happen in America.
No, but it
'cause that
happens
shit can't-
everywhere because Mars is currently in Gemini. So so Mars is in Gemini. Mars is the planet of war, of
Right.
conflict, of heat,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And so Mars was retrograde at the end of last year, so it was going back on itself, or
Backwards.
it appears to be going back on itself because it slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's in Gemini, the sign of communication. Because Gemini is an air sign, so it's a sign of communication. So everybody was losing it. Nobody was hearing what anybody else was saying. Harry said, and it's not that they weren't even just hearing; they wanted to fight about it.
Yeah.
Usually, you would just not hear and be like, "Oh, fuck off!" But
Yeah.
they wanted to fight about it. So when Harry was like, "Oh, rare, 25," suddenly everybody descended and they were like, "How dare you!" And they started going at him. So when you start noticing that, you kind of know what to prepare for. You're like, "Ah."
Yeah.
Okay, like, all right, cool. This is what's happening. So now Mars is stationed direct, and there was a point where Mars was retrograde and Mercury was also retrograde.
Yeah, I
so
heard
it was
about
like,
that last
yeah,
year.
yeah. Like everybody was
Everything's
just,
going mad.
everyone was just fighting.
Everybody is going crazy. Everything's going
everyone was just
backwards.
fighting. But I encourage you to, if you can, to find out where Jupiter is, because last year, for instance, Jupiter was in my brother's 4th house of home and family, and that's the
Heard
year
you talking about
yeah,
it,
that's
yeah.
when he bought his apartment.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
wherever that house is, it helps you. Like,
What is this stuff called?
What?
That I
Astrology?
can, yeah.
I
Do
want
you
to
know
know
your
where my
birth time?
house is.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So you need to you can use Astro Charts. Hold on. Use
Is
this
it a website
one.
or-
Yeah, you can use an.
Also, is it when people have been writing in to you,
yeah.
they basically just give you their birth time. Well, they find out their birth time on their chart, and then they just send that to you.
Yeah, and then they send me They send me.
Okay.
Yes, use this one, Astro Charts.
This one.
Yes, put your details into there.
My name is John.
Smith.
Was it
Yeah,
mom?
I
so-
don't know my exact time.
Yo,
Try
yeah,
and
me,
find
I've
out.
got mum.
Yeah.
I just messaged my mum.
What time was I
You
born?
know what time? I just know I was born on Saturday. I'm sure it was like around 12.
Okay,
I'm
so
sure
you
it's
better
around
say-
12 though. I
12
always
PM.
think that. Yeah.
It's like 12 a.m. right on the dot, innit? And then you Well, I remember it being
this is
around that
crazy.
time. Do you know?
You just get
Yeah, I think it would be very, very
what house
interesting.
what house is Aries for you?
No clue.
Let me see. Okay, so
You know off the top of your head what time you was born, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. What time is it?
okay.
6:02
Nice.
a.m.
Oh, nice. So you
Nice.
are. Let me just change the settings to this. I'm just going to move it to whole sign houses because they always do Placidus by default. So Aries is your 11th house. So so the 11th house governs hopes, wishes, and dreams, as well as large groups of people. So like community. So people who are usually very well known, they will have some kind of placement either in their 1st house or their 11th house, so that because it governs that. So the fact that you've got Aries there, you've got your Mars, your natal Mars is in Aries. And you've got your Mercury in Aries as well. So how you communicate gets out to a lot of people. Like they enjoy hearing you. Like there's something that you have where you naturally people listen to you.
My Fredonites.
Yes, so they listen to you, right? But you've also got Mars there that's almost trying to go into Pisces. Like there's something that you're trying to use your energy of what you get from groups of people into your 10th house of public facing roles, like your career. The 10th house is about career. So you're trying to move your energy of groups of people into almost like going, or is it entering? Whichever way you want to see it. You straddle it basically. There's a line between Aries and Pisces that your Mars straddles. That means that you can take people from here and move them to there to get what you need to do. So the fact that Jupiter is currently in your 11th house in Aries is a perfect time that if you wanted to do something that goes out to large groups of people, or you wanted to do something on social media, because the 11th house also rules over social media, this would be the time to do it. But you have to be consistent about it, because Aries tends to start and not finish.
Right.
Yeah. So your 11th house is almost like, oh, I've got all these great ideas that could get people in, but I can't be asked to kind of like see it all the way through.
Right.
And so with where that is, it's, you've got your North Node, so I can understand why you're why you're introverted. Your Sun is in your 12th house and it's tightly conjunct your Venus. So you tend to like for your relationships and everything to be kept private. The 12th house is secret. The things that nobody sees is like hidden away. We also call it like the house of undoing and things. So it would have probably taken a little while for you to come into your character, but you would have done it without lots of people being able to see you. Like almost like you appeared in college and they're like, who's that? What do you mean? Like he's been there since like secondary school. He was in primary school with us. But the shadow. But then over time you come into your own character.
Right.
And then, but it's almost like you're somebody that while you have a lot of power or influence over large groups of people, you prefer to do it not being seen that much. And because the Sun is so close to your Venus as well, it's really important to you that the things that you love are not shown to many people, because that's how I guess you feel like you protect it. But what's important is that currently the North Node, which is about destiny and fate, is currently in Taurus. So this is a perfect time to concretize or solidify a relationship. So
Imagine that.
but this is what I'm saying. A lot of us already follow our astrology, whether good or bad. We already follow our chart. We just don't realize that's what we're doing. And so if somebody can go, oh, well done, you're on track, keep going, cool. Or, hey, there's more that you could be doing with this chart, relax. It would save so much drama, because people are stuck in jobs that they do not enjoy. Like they're stuck in everything that they do not enjoy. And all it takes is someone to be like, hey, these are the current transits. So this house that you're trying to buy, maybe wait 2 years, because then you'll have more things in your favor to make that thing happen. And you'll be surprised what comes to help you do that thing if you just allow for that to happen. And you're a Gemini rising. So how you appear is, which I've already witnessed, is like you are happy to have that intellectual debate, because Gemini is an air sign. It up here, it wants to figure the things out, and it won't just take what people have said as the thing. It's just like, I want to know my thing.
This is so perfect. It's perfect.
But Mars was retrograde there, so I would imagine that for the past 3 months you've had conflicts with people where you're like, why, the term would be, but why are you not hearing me? Like,
Damn. Wow.
And that's why it would be there, because, or why are you not hearing me? Why are you not seeing me? Because I feel like I'm being clear, but you're not picking up what I'm throwing down. And it's because Mars was retrograde there, but Mars is now stationed direct, so it should feel like things are easing off a bit, and now you can use that energy that you get from Mars to do the things that you need to do. And it's so funny, you're a Leo sun, you're a Leo moon, and people who work best in partnerships together, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, you usually find that they have sun moon interactions, aspects. So you'll gravitate towards people who who Fred is on the inside is who you are on the outside.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because yours is sun, so you're out here. So the reason that this works so well and has worked so well, and you lot have been able to do this, is because you are reflections of each other, but you're just not as overt with it. And so you've got your Leo there. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah. So you've got your Chiron in Leo in the 3rd house, because the 3rd house rules mass broadcasting, which is great for you because your sun comes into. So this is what I'm about to tell you about. What's great when you have your birth chart and other people also have their own birth charts is you can do something called synastry, where you lay the charts on top of each other to see how the planets are interacting, how your energies mingle with each other, right? And so because your sun, because you're a Leo sun, that's your star sign, enters into Fred's 3rd house of mass communication and siblings, you feel like a brother.
Okay.
Like you feel like a brother. And also your sun, which is so bright, shines on the moon of mass broadcasting, which helps this. So it feels like you bring the sun, you bring kind of like an energy to what you lot do.
Right.
And then you kind of bring the sensibility.
Right.
This is do you know what? Yeah, you know when you see this stuff on TV, you always think, but you watch us on YouTube, so obviously you know these.
She might have just binged us.
Yeah, binge everything.
This is it.
You see behind the
Watching
scenes,
like there's someone that's been in the bushes for a few weeks. What's going on, man?
What are they doing? What are they up to?
It's crazy.
But the reason I asked about siblings is because your Chiron is in Leo. So it feels like I'm getting the feeling that you didn't really feel seen growing up.
Middle child.
Yeah. And that's what it's here, because Chiron is the wounded healer. Wherever Chiron is where we felt something, some kind of pain, like, I don't think that was really fair, you know? And so it stays with us and we kind of learn from that. So for instance, then going on to have children, you will be hyper aware in that case of the middle child, because you'll be like, I don't want that child to feel how I feel, right? So
so you need 3 kids minimum.
Rough. I planned on 2.
so that's what and then you've got your natal Jupiter in Virgo in the 4th house. So you'll always have like a really great home life, like a really great home. So no matter what you do in terms of houses, you'll always seem to find that it flows. You just have to look after it. That there has to be work done in the home. Virgo is about work, like looking after what you have.
Right.
So yeah, like
that's very interesting.
Very interesting.
That's fucking interesting. Wow.
Thank you.
So you're having your Saturn return because Saturn's in Aquarius for you in the 9th house. I think that after Saturn moves out of Aquarius into Pisces, you're going to travel a lot more. Or like there's some learning that you need to do by going to foreign places. So you're going to, I would say by 33, you're going to start going to a lot more places.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Very. That's almost intrusive.
Exactly that, and that's why you don't show your birth chart to anybody. You don't go. You don't go around just showing it anyhow. Like, hey guys, look. If you notice, when people talk about it online, they'll go, "My sun, moon, rising is this." Like they'll keep it locked there. They won't go too much because you don't want. Remember that this is a map of your life,
right?
So you don't want it just
people can
anywhere.
use it to manipulate.
They can use it to manipulate, but it's like people are literally from this. I can see your life. Like, why would you want to just have that on the internet for everybody to look at?
Yeah,
you know, like I personally, maybe because I'm neurotically private. Like I like to keep my things to myself, so I wouldn't want to blast it on the internet that this is my exact chart, because from that you can see my entire life. Right. So that's why I feel some type of way sometimes when people take celebrity charts. They find out the time that celebrity was born. And they put the chart up and they're like, this is why this is happening to this celebrity. But I'm like, but did they beg you?
Yeah.
Because like you're really doing too much right now.
Damn.
Yeah. Because also it's responsible to say that there's something called dark astrology, which means that you can also use it to see the not so pleasant things that will happen in life. And so by being able to put this thing on blast, somebody who can read astrology can also read dark astrology, right? So they can see certain things, and it's just like, nah, like don't do that.
You don't have to tell people how or when they're gonna die.
Yeah, that's how they managed. So basically, we knew when Lizzie was heading on down. We knew when it was about to happen because you have Lizzie's chart. And you can see what, Mars was.
Oh, is that why Jason Lee had it early? It's making sense now.
Just regretted
He was just off by a little bit.
He was just off a little bit, but he saw it.
He was early.
He jumped the gun.
He pressed pause too soon.
Yeah,
he had it in drafts.
Astrologers, they kind of saw it. They were like,
can you do the dark astrology as well? I'm not saying I want you to, but
I haven't ventured into it because I'm just like, oh,
it's a bit too much.
Yeah, it's just sad. Like, why would some things I just think like I don't want
Stay
to know.
positive.
Like
Yeah.
I don't
I
want to
hear
know.
that.
Like just live life. Like I don't want to know.
Wow.
I don't want to know that about myself. I don't want to know that about anybody. Just live life. There's no point. Obviously, there's some things that are good to know. So there are some people, maybe they have certain Pisces placements or water placements. Be very smart around water. Like, don't be an idiot. Because come on.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have certain degrees in a water sign, it's like, don't be an idiot with this particular thing. That's it. Those just little warnings. That's enough. Then I don't think you need to know all of the main things.
The way you've even just broken things down today, like I'm always one that's on the skeptical side of this stuff, but the way you've broken it down today, I'm kind of like, do you know what? I think as well, I feel like I'm at a point, maybe it's the Taurus in me. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like I'm at a point in life where I'm bare open to bare things. So I think because you've now sort of spoken about that, my mind at this present moment in time is open to everything.
But then that's wonderful because if
100%.
you're a Taurus sun, like I was just saying that if you're a Taurus sun, for instance, the North Node is going to be interacting with your sun. The North Node is about fate, destiny. So you're meeting people at this time that almost open you up to what your life is meant to be, like where you're meant to be headed. It's like snapshots. It's not going to be like knocking you on the head and being, oh, God, go this way.
Yeah.
It'll be more like, here's a glimpse.
Yeah, you need
so
to pay
hopefully
attention.
you'll go, let me just see what that looks like. And then you kind of, because Taurus rules higher learning. So Taurus usually would be in the 9th house, and it would usually, is it 9th house? No, the 2nd house, sorry. 2nd house, and it rules the resources that we keep. So it rules the resources that we keep. So in terms of the things that you learn, these are the things that you'll end up keeping. And the sun, so you're a Taurus sun. The North Node is currently in Taurus. Jupiter is also about to enter Taurus. So basically, wherever all of this kind of joins up for you, you're going to grow in a really, really big way. I think if you've got, I mean, I don't know your chart, but we know that you're a Leo, right? So that's already helping the energy of the group. So if we're saying that all of these your 3 individual birth charts are working together at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if around May, something major happens for you in terms of a deal, because it's like you've got Taurus rising, you're a Taurus sun, Jupiter is going into Taurus, and it's going to amplify, magnify whatever it meets there. And it usually rules over resources, the things we keep. It would feel like something around that time kind of comes up for you. But it's just about being prepared, because usually, again, Taurus is about planning, and it's the things that you do. So there's probably things happening now that by May, it will be like, okay, it's done. It won't be the beginning of it. It will be we've got it. Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. I've never been speechless on this podcast. I'm very intrigued.
The whole episode I've been listening to you. I'll be honest. Like today, I've really just listened. Like everything we discussed.
We were trying to get that free tarot card reading.
Are we okay in believing miracles do happen?
I do believe that.
Oh, what do you mean? Sorry, are we okay with miracles happening?
In believing.
Oh, in
Belief
believing.
of miracles. Like, are miracles the same as the biblical ones today, or what type of miracles do you think happen? Not necessarily like magic, but like
there's this book.
Like healing the blind, feeding the 5,000.
Oh, you mean
like,
those sorts of things?
Are we okay
Okay.
in believing miracles do happen, or do we have to take it down a notch? And what is this book you was gonna...
Yeah, I forgot the title of it, but she explains miracles as a day-to-day event intersecting with the grace of God.
Right.
So the miracle can only be a miracle because it's out of your day-to-day thing. And so that day-to-day thing happens to intersect with the grace or the mercy of God, or the otherworldly, the other realm.
Right.
And then boom, you've got a miracle.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So I feel like that's one of the things I'm still open to. I believe that miracles happen. They just happen in varying degrees, I think that they can also be subjective. But when you're saying specific things like healing the blind and doing this and doing that, I don't know. But I do know that Pluto is going into Aquarius, and it's going to be there for 20 years. And we imagine that if Pluto is power and Aquarius is groups of people, large groups of people, that we're going to, and it's about the air sign, it's about intellect. Over the next 20 years, we're going to have like technological advances and medical advances that we've never, ever, ever seen before. That actually means that it pushes us. We become actual stronger human beings.
Yeah.
I understand the urgency of the climate crisis and all of those things. I think that we need to pay attention to that. But I also think that technological advances are going to make us, if we are open to it, much stronger.
2 million miles stronger. You never know.
Handle it.
Mississippi-lessly, yeah.
This is crazy.
Miracles are interesting. What did you want to ask for tarot?
What is
yeah.
the questions to ask? I don't understand tarot.
You don't understand tarot? Okay, cool. So tarot, all this is just a deck of cards. There are 78 cards in the deck. We have 22 major arcana. So the 22 major arcana, they are drawn in a way that they represent like big life energy, like something major happening in your life. And then we've got the rest of the cards that are minor arcana. So they speak to the day-to-day things that happen.
Right.
So based on the kind of combination that you get, you should be able to kind of decipher and decode stuff. And so each image is different. And you've got swords, pentacles, wands, and cups. So water is the cups, swords would be air. And we've got wands that will be fire, and then we've got pentacles that will be earth. And so that will speak to the different star signs as well.
Right.
And so, yeah, you use the cards and then you decode what comes from them to get the messages. If we believe that on a cellular level that we're just energy, right? And also our DNA, we carry energy from ancestors, you know? Sometimes there are messages that need to get to you that might not get to you that in any other way than somebody having access to cards, being able to decode them and being like, this is what this says.
Right.
I like astrology and I like tarot because I feel that it gives power back to the individual.
Yeah.
And so I'm always interested in the visceral reaction that people have when you're like, I'm into a bit of tarot and astrology, and they're like, demonic. And it's just like, but why did you run to there? Why are you so scared of the idea that the power has been handed back to you?
Yeah.
What are you so scared of? That would you think that you would misuse that power? And where did you learn about the misuse of power?
Right.
Because I know that this stuff is safe with me because I'm not trying to move mad anytime soon.
True.
Yeah.
True.
We need to sit down and ask ourselves, why are we so scared of having our own sovereignty given back to us? Because to learn tarot, it's not hard. I'm not special. It's not hard to read tarot. You keep practicing, you learn what the images are, you keep going. Eventually, the messages become more complex because now, like, you're like, oh, I know what I'm reading now, and I get it now. Whereas we've been brought up to believe that there is somebody that stands in front of us that has been called, that has been chosen. That's not us.
Right.
And they will give us the message, and then we just take that.
Right.
And while I understand the structures that we follow in Abrahamic religions and I respect them, I think that these things can work in tandem.
Right.
I don't believe that, forget that. No, because if you look in the Bible, like, how did they find Jesus? How did the wise men find Jesus? They followed a star, and they knew also what the star meant. It wasn't just any star. They knew that if this star appears here, it means that the king has arrived, and and they followed it. So because of translation over the centuries, wise men, they were actually astrologers. And also based on that star, based on the history that they knew, they also knew which gifts to take him. So when you ask me about dark astrology, they took him gifts that actually mark different points of his life.
Right. Frankincense, myrrh, and gold, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so what his path in life would be, because they already all knew what his path of life would be, that, you know, at one point, fam, they're going to take you out. And what kind of responsibility is that to know that? That's just...
Which one indicates that?
Frankincense, I believe.
Damn. Someone shot up with the frankincense. Shit! Get that third one away, bro. I only need 2 of you guys here, bro. We don't need 3. That's crazy.
But so when I look at even just that story in isolation, I'm like, but see, like...
Yeah.
It wasn't ever hidden from us. It's right there. And it's just about us being open to it. And there'll always be people who want to use things for bad.
Yeah, of
100%.
course.
You could do that with anything.
Yeah.
You could give me
yeah.
water, I turn it into ice, and I dash it at your head.
Yeah,
like,
very true.
I can take any element and make it a weapon. And this isn't different from that. You just have to be really diligent in what you're doing and be really kind of intentional with what you're doing. And I feel that I've been able to help so many people, so many listeners by building on this skill. And that's all I want to do. I just want to help people. There's nothing else. I'm very particular, like ethically, about reading for someone that hasn't asked me to read for them. Only in extreme circumstances, and am I going to pull out the cards if I feel like, no, there's something you're doing to me that I need to counter and understand what is going on here and why you're doing it. That's when I pull out the card and be like, because that involves me. But if something doesn't involve me, I'm not going to try and read on anybody's
100%.
energy, because that's you can get got. Like, I'm not trying to do any of that.
That's very invasive.
And think about what you said about astrology. Like, again, all of these things, we have all that we need in this life. We had it the moment we arrived. I just think we've been distracted by how wild the world is.
Yeah, true.
All of us.
So you just need to follow the stars.
So what's the question? What are we looking at?
Yeah, what question can we ask? Is it like
Anything. What's on your mind?
Shoot. Bloody hell. I'm scared.
That's what I'm saying. Part of me is like, what do I want to know?
But you'll only ever pop that on your hand so you can shuffle first.
Oh,
you could just
okay.
dab it a little bit.
So just
Dab it and then just wipe.
Have a
Rub your hands
drink
with it.
Drink it.
And I'll pass it around that way. So then we can do individual questions.
And can you explain what that is?
So this is Florida water. It's a cologne. So when we're doing reading in the occult and things like that, we use it to wipe off any debris, any energetic debris that's not yours, so you can get the clearest reading possible. You know, think of how many people you touched today, how many door handles you touched, all the things that you've
100%.
touched. You've taken on things that are not yours. And so this just kind of cleans you off. And so it means that you get the right sort of reading, so you can start.
So what, do I just shuffle these? Yeah?
Shuffle and then tell me what we're looking at. What are we thinking about?
Damn.
It always goes quiet.
I'm trying to think. What am I thinking about?
What would you like to explore?
Probably. I don't know. Because obviously I'm aware as well that we're on the podcast.
Let me tell my business. I always taper it. I always taper it. I've done readings for people on their podcast, and I'm just like, I'm not saying that on air.
It's
She said, pick another card, Nick. Pick another
We'll talk
one.
about that later.
Do I hand these back to you? Or?
Oh, no, you can just pick out 3 for me, please.
Okay, pick out 3.
Any 3, yeah.
Yeah. I think I want to know about where my energy's at.
Okay.
Is that
Elevate the stars is like, what does that mean, bro?
Okay.
This is
Keep
scary.
going. Nice.
Hella
fine.
swords.
She said, "Oh,
Keep going.
oh my god, yeah." In my heart. Oh my
Hella
god.
swords.
Okay, cool. All right. So what
Do
I'm
you want to
seeing
show it
here,
to the camera so you can
yeah.
see?
So you've got the 3 of Swords. You've got the Fool card, which is a major arcana. And then you've got the 3 of. You've got then what's the last? The 6 of Wands in reverse. I think it was reversed to you. Do you remember how they were up?
Oh yeah.
So this one was upright.
Okay,
That
this
one
was upright.
That one was
This one's
upright, and that one was
one's
upside down. All right, cool. So because the 3 of Swords came out first, I read that almost as if it was the past. So you went through some kind of heartbreak or something affected you greatly in a relationship sense in the past. Is what I'm picking up. And then you've now had this new beginning, the Fool card. That's what the Fool card is. That's the energy actually in your life currently, that you're starting afresh. But the Fool card is not meant to be an insult. It is the fact that you are so open, almost naive in some regards. There are things that you're going to learn on the way of this new journey, whatever this journey is that you're on. But it's a fresh energy. It's an innocent energy, and that you should be open to that. That's okay. The issue for you is that 6 of Wands in reverse. Like, you don't value yourself enough in terms of what you bring to things, and it's clearly linked to whatever was that past situation, that 3 of Swords, where anybody that interacts with you should be grateful.
This is crazy. I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah.
Anybody that interacts with you should be grateful for the energy that you bring. That Full energy is like, yeah, you don't know everything, but you're willing to learn. The Full energy is that I'm willing to learn. I've showed up. Like, I've actually showed up. So, like, let's go, you know? Not many people do that. After that 3 of Swords energy, some people go into 8 of Swords energy, where they shut down, they close down. 9 of Swords energy, like, they're depressed, like, they're not coming out. Or they go into the Devil energy, which is about sabotage, self-sabotage. They go into those energies. Instead, you went back to the beginning of the deck. It's like you started again.
Right.
Because this is the first card of the entire deck. So 6 of Wands talks about the fact that there are so many qualities that you deserve to be praised for. And again, we see the white horse there, which does speak to your innate sort of innocence. Like, you don't and I love when cards like this come out, because essentially for me, the cards don't lie. Like, you touched it, I didn't touch it, right? So it talks about you, like, you don't actually come with malice, and you are willing to do the work. You come with a lot of energy, but you need to basically stand up for yourself more, is the energy that I'm getting here. You do need to stand up for yourself more. Like, you do deserve, you are of value in the interactions that you have, and people do need to see that of you and value you being there.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna say something after, because I want to see how this plays out. I'm gonna say something after.
That's amazing.
Fred's like, well, let's go.
That is amazing.
Let's
Do we
go.
put these back in the deck as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, pop them back in the
okay.
deck, yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yes, please
Yeah,
shuffle.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow. Wow.
What are we looking at?
Wow.
I want to talk about my fears of failure.
Okay.
That's amazing. I am spun. Everything you were saying was hitting every. Like, it
And
was
it
hitting
does.
things. Like, it took my mind to exactly what you were.
And that's when you know.
Yeah.
When you can go to the exact place and you're like, yep, I know exactly
I know
what
exactly what you're
I
talking
know what
about.
we're talking about here. I know what's happening here. It's all good. It's all good.
That's crazy.
But
Are there repeat cards in there?
no,
Couple
everything.
booby traps in there?
No, everything's just one. Everything's just one. Okay, nice. And it's funny, you talked about you wanted to explore your fears around failure, and that's what comes up. So they all came out in reverse. So we've got the Six of Pentacles in reverse, the Justice card in reverse, and the Five of Cups in reverse. All right, cool. So let's look at them,
So-
how they came out.
Depending
Yeah,
on the
so-
the way you put them down is a.
It's just reverse,
yeah.
so, yeah.
So I
Right.
read it as that. There are some tarot readers, they don't care which way it comes. They'll read it as what it is.
Right.
But I read reverse as well as upright. So Six of Pentacles in reverse, Justice in reverse, Five of Cups in reverse. Fears around failure. The Six of Pentacles talks about giving, being able to give freely from abundance, right? And there's been the fear that you have of failure is because you feel like you've given a lot of yourself in the past and it hasn't been reciprocated. Or there's been situations where you felt the power dynamic is off, where you didn't have, or you perceived yourself to not have, and people exploited that of you and made you feel like it almost feels relational, because I'm looking at the figure that's actually in the drawing where, oh, I've got this and you haven't got this, so you have to listen to me in this dynamic. And that hurts. And that was unjust, because we've got the Justice card there that represents Libra. That was unjust. And that's almost like caused this imbalance within you about trust. Your fear of failure is actually just you being scared to trust yourself, that you felt like your discernment was off all of those times that these things were able to happen to you, that you're like, this time I'm going to make sure that I keep everything close to me, right? And the Justice card is like, that's not balanced. That's not a balanced way to do this. Yes, a lot of times you will give. You have to remember the society that we live in. A lot of times you will give and people will absolutely fuck you over. But that's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing. Obviously, all of us use sense, but it's got nothing to do with you. You have only been asked, as is drawn in that card, you've only ever been asked to give from a place of abundance. We know now that you're a Taurus rising, right? You will always have. So you cannot operate from a space of lack, because you are doing a disservice to your higher self. You're doing a disservice to the reason that you came here. You came here to bless others. And if you let the fear of what happens as a repercussion of blessing others, or being in partnership with others, or feeling like you're giving of your own resources and what they could possibly do to you, if you let that stop you, then you're actually not living the reason that you came here. Because the Justice card is about that. Like, you add balance to life. Your purpose is to add balance to life in some way. That is your greater calling. However you get there, it's up to you. But your greater calling is to be the thing, or be the kind of person that people talk about hypothetically. Like, you are that person. You have everything in you to be that person that's like, no, I'm just giving because I can. And you gave the example again when we're talking earlier, like, but what happens when you get to the point where you just have and you see a homeless person and you're like, oh, here you go. that is your subconscious already saying what your purpose is, that you are meant to do that. Like from an overflow of having, you can give on to others. But if you fear that, oh, one day I won't have, or I'm coming from a space where I didn't have, so I've got to lock everything down, you're going to stop the pipe of, you know, giving, receiving, because it's a pump. You have to kind of go both ways. And you've got the 5 of Cups there, that there's something that you're sad about or disappointed about the things that haven't worked, because you see the 3 cups are down. Right. And then you've got 2 cups behind, but you haven't allowed yourself to feel the disappointment of that. But specifically what I'm hearing is that you haven't allowed yourself to feel the shame of that, because sometimes when things don't go our way, there's an element of shame, like, why didn't I clock that earlier? Why didn't I do da, 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 da? And you start thinking of all of these things, and it locks you in. You can't shame yourself for the things that you didn't know. How could you have done differently if you didn't have access to the knowledge that would have allowed you to do so? And also another thing about the 2 of Cups, because the actual card for the 2 of Cups is about relationships. Don't focus so much on work that you neglect aspects of your relationships. I'm talking romantic in this sense. Don't neglect it, because that's actually part of your power that allows you to do the things that you do in the world. Don't get so bogged down with work that you don't actually truly be present and experience the love that's already around you. Yeah.
Wow. I hear it.
This is next level.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're rapping, man. You're rapping.
You are rapping.
Damn.
You
But
are.
this is what I mean. Like, it can be such a healing practice. It can be so useful.
Yeah.
That's what makes me kind of sad when people are like, oh, I wouldn't, because you're just like, it's right there.
Yeah,
It's your energy. It's right there. You all you're doing, when we were talking about serendipity earlier, you put yourself in a specific place at a specific time to receive the messages that you had called in all along. You called it in. And I think even when we were going back and forth about what day should we do, I think that everything, and I said to you, like, it's just going to happen when it happens. Like, I believe in that. It will just sort itself out.
Yeah. All right.
What are we looking at?
I want to look at what do I need to be more open to?
Oh, nice. I love that question. Okay.
Yeah, I said that today in the car. So what do I need to be more open to? And then I tweeted it as well.
Okay.
So everybody knows. All right, cool.
Okay.
So we just draw off the start.
Yeah, wherever you want. 3. Okay. Nice. Okay, so you've got the 5 of Swords. You've got the Hanged Man. I like that all of you have like one major arcana in your pool. So it shows what's happening in life. And then you've got the Page of Pentacles. Yes. Yes. Okay, cool.
Imagine if I started burning right now.
Too close to the sun.
2 million miles closer. All right.
Yeah, that's how it was.
So this one was upside down?
The middle one was upside down.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this one was upside down, wasn't it? The Page of Pentacles, or was that right way up? It doesn't matter.
That was
either
right.
way.
I think
Okay.
that was right way up.
All
I
right.
remember that one for sure was upside down.
Okay, that's actually the right way up, that one.
Oh, right. Oh, right.
But,
Yeah, she's hanging. Yeah.
Yeah. So 5 of Swords,
Yeah.
the Hanged Man, and the Page of Pentacles. As happy-go-lucky as I think that you are,
Yeah.
you hold grudges.
Yeah.
You hold grudges.
Yeah.
And so that's why the 5 of Swords came out. Because if you look at the image on the 5 of Swords, this person has won. Everybody's walking away. The person has taken their sword. They're holding their own sword, but they also took everybody else's sword as well. That is a bad man. Like, I flogged you all and I've taken your belt at the same time. Like, you've won. You have to be able to let it go. You have to be open to just being like, you know what? Fine. And I think that this will serve you generally in relationships as well. Like, sometimes let other people be right. Like, because otherwise you're arguing in this cyclical way and then you're losing energy, right? And what happens is that it keeps you in this space. You see the Hanged Man, she's hanging upside down. Only one leg is tied, making a figure 4 foundation. But from this perspective, if you see the light around her head, she's gaining a new perspective from trying something different. So it feels like you feel like in the moment that you're in some kind of holding room, that you know you can feel the energy that something great is about to happen for you, but you're frustrated with like, but I'm not moving, I'm not going anywhere. And it's like, Spirit's asking you to consider, but where are you trying to go? Because I bring everything to you where you are. But you have to be open to the idea that I bring things to you where you are. It's only sometimes in the society that we are existing in that we think that it's constant movement. But what if there's the power in stillness?
Right.
Like not rushing. The things that are being, called to you, they'll meet you wherever you are.
Yeah.
But what you're being asked to be open to is like, just let others be right sometimes, because when you do that, when we look at the Five of Swords, we see that this person is a leader. Like they're good at what they do. They know what they're about. A good leader also allows for other people to do what they're doing, and also allows sometimes for the perception that I don't have all of the answers. I think the way that we've been socialized into this world is that, especially as Black people, and I imagine maybe as Black men, that you feel like you're not allowed to be wrong because we see what comes from that.
Yeah.
So it's like, and especially now when you're right, having to kind of almost present yourself as, you know what, it's fine. It almost feels counterintuitive because it's just like, no, like I'm going to hold on to this one. And this is just saying like, you don't have to do that. And then you've got the Page of Pentacles there, that there's new opportunities that you're thinking about going into and trying. Do it. Do it. Like, just do it. The Page of Pentacles is fresh, it's young energy. It's like my first attempt at the thing. Consider that it's my first attempt at whatever it is. Like, I'll figure it out along the way. For you, could you pull out another 2, please? I'm just trying to get a clarifier on something. Yeah. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles, and then we've got the Four of Swords. Yeah, perfect. So that just confirms my message about it feels like where these arguments are happening. The Queen of Pentacles, we see the White Rabbit about fertility and things like that. You've pretty much only got coins, so you've got very earthy energy around you. But what this is saying is more in the relationship aspect, like you don't worry. Like every battle is not a war. Just let it be. And then the Four of Swords comes out for you because it's just like I was saying to you before, you're literally being told by Spirit to rest. Like there is, and I imagine that the pressures of like, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to provide, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. You feel like you need to be constantly in motion, but the thing is you don't. You've done the work. You've actually done the work. You have won. That the main message for you is that you have won. You can afford to just slow down. It sounds like the most backward thing to advise you, but it's because the work has already been done. You just have to allow for the benefits of that to come in.
I'm out of here. Do you fucking know me, bro? What?
This is crazy.
What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Sorry, I've interrupted. Whoa.
But you should hold on to that. You've won.
Wow.
You've got it. Just let the things now just flow in. But you have to rest. And the reason you're being told to rest is almost like a warning as well. You see the Four of Swords, she's holding her tummy, she's holding her head. You're going to make yourself sick if you keep like, no, you've done enough. Like, relax. And we understand why you're doing so much because we've got the Queen of Pentacles there right at the top of the Hanged Man. You want to make sure that you're doing right by your family, your loved ones, all of that. You are, take it easy.
Damn.
Oh.
Wow.
Down.
Okay.
Yeah, tell
Wow.
just be messaging us at like 2 a.m.
So you know, like the can't even talk to you. Leave us alone.
It's like, allow me right now, man.
Oh my God. Everything we've been talking
Trying to
about.
plan a new flipping thing. Relax.
Yeah.
Talk about it in
That's
the morning.
crazy.
Is you? Why aren't you sleeping, bro?
Bruh, that's
Be
crazy.
awake soon.
Hey, I actually need to leave. Let's do. My head is spinning. Let's do things.
Well, yeah. We need to do trivia.
It's like time gets lost here. We're just here.
Time capsule.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
we have a leaderboard where we ask our guests 10 questions. So
gosh,
how
that'd
it
be
works
terrible.
is you have some lifelines. Every question you get right is worth a point, but every question you get wrong is minus a point.
Okay.
The final question is worth 10 points, and
Okay.
you get to pick who asks you. So I'll ask you 3, 10 will ask you 3.
Okay.
Dennis will ask you 3 questions.
Okay.
You've got lifelines are phone a partner, has to be someone of the opposite sex, and they can't use Google.
Okay.
Multiple choice on one question, so if you're stuck, you ask for multiple choice. We'll give you
Okay.
4 answers. You pick the right one, hopefully.
Okay.
You can ask a 90s baby. So if I ask you the question, you can ask 10 more Dennis for help.
Okay.
And you can skip. If you skip, you don't lose a point.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Oh, technical.
So I'll kick things off.
Okay.
At the time of recording this episode, who is at the top of the English Premier League currently?
Is it Asna?
It is 1 point. It's those guys.
Asna.
Well done.
Question 2. Jamaica is one of only 2 current national flags that currently do not include the colours blue, white, or red. What is the other country?
Jesus, no, this is difficult.
Hard one.
Seychelles.
No.
Nah, that's got multiple colours in it.
That's it. I was like, I don't know. So I've lost the point.
Yeah, back to 0. I believe it's pronounced the Mauritian.
That's what I was thinking.
Mauritiana. How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, Mauritiana.
Mauritius.
Yeah,
That's the
Mauritius.
Mauritius, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said
Okay.
Seychelles.
Mauritius.
Damn it!
I'm not going to ask you that tough one. I'm going to go easy now.
Oh, thanks.
Which British actor played Trevor in Kidulthood?
You think that's easy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Adam? No. Is it Adam Deacon? I'm just gonna go for that.
No.
I don't know. I can't.
Melamine.
A melamine.
Oh,
Yeah.
that minus.
A melamine. Remember, you do have lifelines
Okay.
as well. How long was Kwasi Kwarteng Chancellor for?
The exact amount. Oh, I don't know. Was it
In days.
in days?
In days.
In days. Was it? Oh, gosh, what's her name was 44 days. I don't know. I'm going to go for a week.
No. It was 38 days.
Oh, well.
But the thing is, because you said 44 hours, like, rah, that's absolutely correct. Like,
That was a big headline.
Yeah. How many zodiac signs relate to an animal?
Wow. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, Capricorn. Have I missed any out? Cancer. I want to go for 5.
7.
Ah!
You're gonna beat yourself up. Aries,
Yes, I've got 'em.
Taurus, Cancer, Leo, Scorpius,
Scorpio and
Capricornus,
Taurus was the one
and
that was that.
Pisces.
Pisces. God.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You're all good.
Look at that.
You're all good. Basically, our tarot card reading.
It's all a lie. It's all a lie. I was tapping my head like, what?
She's
What?
hacked our phones.
No.
That's
This is where we test your bounce back ability.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Let's see.
Deem it.
What year did Princess Diana die?
Oh, Lord.
You do have lifelines.
I can ask one of you lot.
If you wish.
I want to say 1991.
Go for it.
That's incorrect.
What is it?
1997.
Yeah, I was alive when.
Yeah, I was thinking, I feel like I was alive.
Okay.
But,
Wow.
Yeah. Is that all 3 of your
1997.
questions?
That was
That was 3.
I got through with them. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
question 1.
I'm saying let's go like I got one.
Question 1. In 2001, an Australian artist released her single entitled "Can't Get You Out of My Head." What was the name of this artist?
Kylie Minogue.
Yes, correct.
All right. Okay.
Question 2. Aphrodite is the goddess of what?
Love.
And
And what? It's not love and sex. Love and money.
love and basketball.
Get out!
No, I'm joking. It's Love and Beauty.
Okay.
Love and Barbie.
Half a point.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give it. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, she just told us our futures, man.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Because love is the main one,
That's
to
what
be
I'm
fair.
thinking, like, I know
that's
it's
the
love,
point.
yeah.
That's the point. Okay. A scientist who studies rocks is called what?
Oh, come on. It's not a geo something. Studies rocks. I know this and it'll piss me off.
You got lifelines. You could ask a 90s baby.
Okay, but who wouldn't?
Or you could get multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
She
Yeah.
said, I don't trust you niggas.
I looked around, so
Because when you looked at me, I said, I ain't got it, bro. I said, I ain't got it. I think I know him, but I'm not confident.
So, is it a astrologist?
no.
Is it an atheist? Is it a geologist? Or is it a butologist?
A geologist.
I couldn't think of anything else.
Because I said it's geo something. I was like, it's geo something.
I couldn't think of anything else.
I knew it was
I'm
geo
sorry.
something. So it's not even like you helped me that much. I said it's geo something.
It's-
He put that one on the plate. He put that one on the
I'm
plate.
trying to think of other things.
Utologist
I
and
don't know any
astrologist.
other things, bruv.
Fucking told our futures, man. She knows it's not astrologist, bro.
Astrologist.
A butologist.
Hey,
Okay,
okay, cool. Yeah, that was my 3 questions.
Okay.
So right now, you get your final question is worth 10 points. You can hit the leaderboard with this. You get to pick who asked you the question. We'll tell you our categories. Dennis, what you got?
I've got Greek mythology.
I've got astrology.
I've got TV and film.
Oh, so it's got to be between Greek mythology and astrology. Oh, and I can play myself if I don't have this, I'm going to go with Greek mythology.
Okay.
Pussy, yo.
No one in the If she gets that wrong, it might just cancel everything. I hear it.
Everything
Yeah.
is done.
Okay, cool. What is the name of the sister and wife of Zeus?
The sister and wife of Zeus.
You can ask a 90s baby. Phone a partner.
Is it Hecate? No. Don't take it. Zeus's wife. All right, I'm asking the 90s baby. Fred.
Is it Hera?
It is.
Yeah!
Well done. That's amazing.
Did you used to watch Hercules back in the day?
I watched Greek mythology, baby.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm glad you didn't answer me because I knew, but it's because I saw his questions earlier.
Oh,
I was like, it's not Hecate, don't take my answer. I just know it's a H-E.
When you said hair, I was thinking,
well
hey.
done. That does shoot
Wow.
you onto the leaderboard, I'm sure.
Just small.
So yeah, you're on there.
Okay.
You're up there somewhere.
Yeah,
You-
I've got to
you
get my
are-
general knowledge.
Wow,
What an
that
episode.
was amazing.
I told you this is where just bounce back ability. From.
Yeah,
This is where you can
that
return.
was amazing. Oh, I'm speechless. I'm speechless, but there's a lot to work on anyway. But yeah, Kelechi, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Anything to actually? You definitely have something to plug because
What?
we got listeners out in New York too.
Oh yeah,
So be plugging, be
that would be
plugging.
amazing. So I've got a live show in New York at SOBs in New York City on Thursday, April 13th.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be out there. I'm
Wicked.
excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wicked.
big
I love
things.
that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, so
that.
tickets are available.
Yeah, tickets are available on the SOB's website. They should know. Sounds of Brazil is their website. It's on there.
Right.
Is that what it
Sons
stands
of
for?
bitches.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I've only
what it
heard
stands
people rap about it. I didn't know that.
I
That's
thought it
what
was
stands
a
for.
comedy club. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
it was
so that's what it's been. It's an institution. It's been there for about 40 years. So everyone
Yeah,
passes through, whether
well,
it's a comedy
SOBs.
thing or
Right.
and rappers, whatever. And so, yeah, it's great to be kind of doing it there.
Wicked,
Yeah.
wicked. That's cold. Well, yeah, buy your tickets. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was
This has been
very
amazing. Like the
enlightening.
best.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm so happy we've done it. And we need to do it again after you go to Peru.
Oh, para.
When we were talking about ayahuasca.
Yeah, off to
yeah,
Peru
do
to
it.
an ayahuasca retreat. So that's
Yes,
that's
yeah,
close
when
by.
after that, come back.
Them
please.
cards
what I
might be red before you come back. It could be crazy.
No, yeah, thank
but
you.
yeah, shout you guys out. Links are all in the description. Make sure you go check out the merch, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, other than that, you know the theory, bro.
Nah, his baby's crazy.
Cool.
Cool.